following podcast contains naughty language and ridiculous situations. Listener discretion is advised.
Right now, we are merely a handful of days away from Rock and Shock 2019 in beautiful Worcester, Massachusetts at the DCU Center. If you haven't bought your plane ticket, bought your gas, or put in your earn time, you're probably not going to make it. But hopefully, if you're hearing us on this very special Tuesday episode, maybe you can, call in sick because the boys from Trick or Treat Radio is going to be there. We got some friends, other podcasters, Throwdown Thursday, D. Rook, his boys over at Gore Shriek's going to be there, a whole bunch of other motherfuckers. We may even have a Australian or two. But right now, we have a show to do. So welcome to Trick or Treat Radio.
You're listening to Trick or Treat Radio, starring the Deadites.
Welcome to episode 376 of Trick or Treat Radio. Trick or Treat Radio is the world's most dangerous podcast as it's recorded in front of an undead studio audience here at Castle Wolfenstein and also at the Lair of Lost Swag within the Raven Chateau. We will discuss at least one movie a week. We will argue. We will make fun of each other. And we will also talk about Rock Chalk coming up this weekend. And as Raven Shadow so eloquently stated in the intro, if you don't have your plans made now, you might be fucked. But you know what? There's still some time. You got that PTO you can't carry over into next year. It's burning a hole. You better use it right now. Take it off right now. Make your plans. Head on over to Rock and Shock because it's gonna be a good time. We're gonna we'll have a table there. Obviously, we're gonna be surrounded by some awesome folks. I found out we're in an awesome row. We're gonna be surrounded by good people, and we're also doing the live podcast on Sunday at 2 p.m. So lots going on, and I want to jump into things in just a moment here, but we haven't done this in a while, so I'm going to go ahead and introduce everyone. So I am Johnny Wolfenstein, the pencil pusher and producer of media for Trick or Treat Radio here at the Castle Wolfenstein, and then also at the Lair of Lost Swag, we have the vulgar guru of horror, star of Blood Pigs Fetus and the upcoming Morbid Tales and Septic, one-time contributor for Horror Hound Magazine, Monster Zero.
Good evening, everybody.
We also have the tribe riding, stage erecting, whiskey drinking, chief of security, the warrior of nor'easters, America's sweetheart, Rick Rubin's stunt double. He drinks and breaks things, and he also mounts the camera. Ares, god of war.
Hello.
And so yes, if you're watching live, we're a little late, not because technical issues, but because we couldn't decide where to put the camera.
Not because it took me so long to mount the camera.
No.
Because it took these motherfuckers so long to decide where to mount the camera.
Aries got it up and he got it, everything mounted, screwed in. Did you use anchors too, Aries, or just?
Oh, yeah, anchors, yeah.
So, he did the whole thing. He did it in 7 minutes. And it was like Raven Shadow, oh, let's try that angle. No, what about that angle? What about this angle? Well, my good side. What about my bad side? What about the pipe?
This is Johnny. Hey, listen, the fucking pipe's a big fucking concern, okay? But listen, you got to figure things out. If something's going to be there permanent, you got to make sure that it's, going to be there the right way.
It's not permanent. It's 4 screws.
Yeah, you can undo that.
You can spackle that shit right over and paint over it.
Exactly. Get some more of that delicious red paint you got in there.
Yeah.
I get fucking spackle anxiety.
Get yourself some DAP and then you're all set.
No, man, do it nice and do it
daps.
twice. Yeah. No, you gotta surmise and look at the scene. Be very tactical.
Surmise and survey the scene.
Yeah.
What the hell are you, a goddamn LAPD?
No.
You gotta jump first, then look.
No, you don't leap before you look, Aries.
You do?
That's when you're a fucking god. You can. It's like the fucking bulletproof guy.
Got my new mug.
You get your new mug. That's good. You're very excited about that.
Oh yeah, it's funny.
Xenomorph doesn't
seem to be too unhappy
You're
about
swimming in whiskey,
drowning in whiskey.
just smiling at me.
That's the happiest xenomorph ever. You know,
That
it's,
xenomorph is drunk.
yeah. I don't know who's going to be more drunk, that xenomorph or Ares.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my
Yeah, exactly. So we did mount the camera, slightly different angle. It's actually a similar angle. We might play with it a little bit. I can kind of zoom in, crop, do some stuff with it. But you can actually see Ollie a little bit better this week. He's hanging out. Ollie in studio.
He loves podcasts.
I know.
Boy, he had a mouth on him earlier, man. You couldn't shut him up.
It's true.
You could not shut him up.
Well, it's because the pizza guy was here.
Yeah.
That's fair.
And
He even mentioning pizza, he gets mad.
yeah, exactly.
What is it?
He likes the pizza bones.
He does. He had some. He's got his he has pizza bones. He got his collar off, so he's not jingling. He's ready to discuss this film. He watched it twice.
We also have the glorified grip, the chain smoking, hand kissing, baby shaking, lorazepam loving, former comic book reading nerd, the official smoke chamber for the Lair of Law swag, Pimper Promotions, the Italian rapscallion, the professional bullshitter, the cool principal, the proprietor and secretary of the Sexy Speakeasy, Mr. Runtime, the Duke of Degeneracy, and the Parisian Brouhaha himself, Michael Ravenshadow.
Bombaleo Johnny. It should be the Parisian cuckoo, I think, is the new term.
Yeah, after last week.
If you watched last week.
Cuckoo Kachoo. Yeah, we'll get some good feedback from the episode last week from having Rock on.
That was a fun one. I loved having Rocky on with us.
Yeah, he's the best, man. I hope everybody out there checked out the album, Inhuman Satellites from No Man.
Oh, it's so good. Actually, listen to that episode. I wish we played more.
But why? You didn't buy the
You
album?
can download it
Yeah,
and listen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
The fuck, man?
I just played that when we came back from the break over and over again.
You could buy it.
Yeah, I could. Be a gift, Rock. Christmas is coming. No, I am going to buy that.
So on tonight's show, we're going to be talking about a film as usual. We're talking this week about Tone Deaf. Now, this film came out, I think, about a month and a half ago on VOD, and it is directed by Richard Bates Jr., so we're going to be discussing that in a little bit. And then also, we asked for folks to submit some ideas for us to do a Patreon-exclusive film commentary. And we actually had we have a few voicemails, so I don't know if there's some recommendations there, but we also had some recommendations on social media, and then I figure we'll all pick our own, and then we can go from there and try to figure out which one we're going to do. So, but a lot going on. I think we'll keep this not that we're going to keep this one short, but we have a lot going on. I'm hitting the road tomorrow, so I got some packing to do and stuff. So. I think we'll try to keep things tame. We're not going over 3 hours tonight. So, you guys looking forward to the weekend?
No, because that'd be the close to my vacation. But we do have Rock and Shock, so there's that.
Yeah, it's a great way to cap it off, though.
Yeah, damn right it is. I can't wait. It's gonna be a good show. I have a good feeling about this one.
Well, it's probably the biggest one they've ever done, potentially with the guests, right?
Yeah.
And actually, if that's the case, if anyone is coming to us and they're hearing this before the show drops on Friday, there are special rules for Bruce Campbell. Basically, if
Campbell.
Bruce Campbell.
Bruce Campbell.
You know what? Go fuck yourself. You know what? Monster Zero, fuck that up for everybody. I'm not telling you the rules. You're fucked. Okay? So you're fine. Thank you, Monster Zero.
In his defense, I was about to jump on that myself.
I want you to read.
You're mountain, you're jumping on things. You're a fucking horny guy.
Wow. I want you to read all of the rules. Like, come on, read them all verbatim.
Bruce Campbell.
All right.
Campbell. Spell it.
Cambell.
No, what I said. Oh, yeah.
Now, and you are a DUMB.
Bruce Campbell.
There you go.
From Burn Notice.
Like Kimball.
Yeah.
Detective John Kimball.
Yeah, cop you idiot. Dr. John Kimball. That's fine. Well, fine. Before the fucking grammar police pulled me over.
The grammar police.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the fucking rules. I mean, don't feed him after midnight. Don't get him wet.
Yeah.
He won't come next
Well,
year.
actually, that's true. Bruce Campbell doesn't like getting wet after midnight.
No.
Or eating after midnight. He does a lot of that, actually.
It's fair, but no. I mean, but seriously, there are rules, and I don't give a fuck. Certain photo op stuff. So there are. Check out the Trick or Treat. Oh, Jesus, Trick or Treat Radio website.
And after you're done there, go to Rock and Shock with all the rules.
Yeah, there's certain times, and it involves a lot of waiting sometimes. But Bruce will not be in the special Ace Frehley, hut.
Mhm.
He's going to be on the.
Ace
on the
Frehley hut.
Remember that?
I remember that. But go ahead.
Yeah.
I have a story about that, but go ahead.
Yeah, but no, he'll be according to the most recent Rock and Shock notice. He's going to be in general population amongst with everybody.
General population.
Yeah, he's gonna be hot in the yard.
They call it Gen Pop.
Gem pop.
Ollie's pissed. Ozzy was barking. I wonder if you heard Ozzy barking.
He does that. He gets nervous. Monster Zero went to go throw, then he sat down because he was tired.
Of course they did. So this weekend should be fun. We got the live show, and
Yeah. And those who don't know, an added guest was just announced a few hours ago, where actor Jeffrey Voorhees will be in attendance. And for those who don't know who Jeffrey Voorhees is, he played Alex Kittner in the original Jaws film. So that is going to be interesting. When I saw that, I was like, holy shit, that is awesome. That is awesome, because he played a really integral part in that movie.
He was the second person that died, right?
Right, he was the kid in the floaty raft that the shark attacked.
And Jaws is PG. Would that have gotten an R nowadays, at least, right?
Yeah,
That probably would have gotten an R with the amount of blood.
Yeah.
with the amount of blood, not only with the amount of blood, but also the slight nudity that was in the beginning of the movie too. So, so there's that.
there is that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, should be a good time. And if folks still want to get their voicemail in for the evening, if you're listening live, obviously we're 2 nights early. We're on Tuesday instead of Thursday because with Rock and Chalk, there's just going to be too much going on, and I won't be here at Castle Wolfenstein, and I need my computer to do the show. So doing it tonight, and yeah, so looking forward to it. And then we're going to get some video and some other fun stuff. So should be a good time.
Can't wait. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait. I can't wait.
I'm sort of fixing the camera, so something got messed up with it. It's just like an aspect ratio thing. You know when it's probably not a big deal, but I'm just messing with it. So if I'm sort of stumbling, that's why. MZ, so you're on vacation. What?
I am.
You watch like 1 million movies so far?
Yeah, I've been watching a shitload of movies actually.
What'd you watch?
I've been watching a shitload of movies. Well, let's see. I watched. Let's see. What did I watch? I watched Wreck. Let's see. I watched this movie that we're reviewing today.
The original, the first Wreck.
Yeah.
How's it hold up?
Still works.
Yeah.
It's still good. Watched the remake to Evil Dead. Don't ask me why. Probably just because I haven't seen it in a long time. I just figured I'd revisit it. And well, it is what it is. It I don't think it's aged all that well.
I remember liking it
Yeah.
when we saw it.
Yeah, I remember liking it too. To a certain degree, I still do. It's kind of softened over the years, but a lot of the stuff just doesn't add up for me. Let's see. Oh, and I also watched Jesus Christ.
You watched Jesus
Superstar?
Christ? Yeah.
No, I watched that.
Prove to me that I'm no fool. Walk across my swimming pool.
I watched that sequel to I Spit on Your Grave.
You fucking love
boy.
that.
I Spit on Your Grave Deja Vu. That was atrocious.
Yeah, we
That
almost
was-
did. We almost did that for the show, and I was like, I'm not going to watch 2.5 hours of this.
Dude, if we were to review that, I would have nailed this down. Worst film. This would have won the Dear God No award. Hands down.
Wow.
Hands fucking down.
I'm sorry. Did you say 2.5 hours?
2.5 hours.
Wow.
And
Okay.
I don't think there was an editor for this movie. I think every frame they shot in this movie got put in that film. I would probably say at least 24 scenes that were just too damn long. Just way too long. At the beginning of the movie, there's a scene where Jennifer Hills, the survivor from the original film, played by Camille Keaton, who looks fantastic, by the way, is sitting in a nice restaurant with her daughter, somewhat of a nice restaurant. You got to realize this is somewhat out in the woodsy area, and her daughter is quote unquote the highest paid supermodel in the world. Okay.
Okay.
And while she is attractive, I don't buy the highest paid supermodel idea for a bit.
Okay.
Not for a minute,
Mhm.
but that's subjective. The scene where these two are just talking and eating was like 10 minutes long, which is like 8 minutes longer than it should have been.
But they actually have dinner.
That's how almost every other scene in this movie is. They're just too fucking long. There's no reason for this movie to be 2.5 hours long. There's no reason for this movie even if you were to cut it, there's no reason for this movie to make it 90 minutes. It was just brutal to watch. I felt sick after watching that because
Jeez.
it was too long. I never felt like this after watching a movie before, ever.
Really?
I was exhausted.
Now, how long was the original?
That was 100 minutes. That was 100 minutes. It was just, man, I can't even. There's like, and everything looks like it was made on the cheap, like really seriously on the cheap. And bear in mind, the guy who directed this film directed the original, Mir Zarki. There's a scene in the cemetery where there's a bunch of gravestones, just a typical cemetery. But then there are these 4 makeshift graves where it looks like it was just made out of wood and black paint, and it just has the full names of the 4 men who attacked Jennifer in the original film, with a screen grab from the movie as a picture indicating each character.
Really?
Yeah, it was so bad. Oh my God, it was terrible. And oh my God, I just can't deal with it. You have to see it for yourself.
No thanks.
I put myself through hell watching this movie.
Put
It's
yourself
awful.
through hell.
You have no idea. Dudes, you seriously have no idea. You seriously have no idea just what I went through watching this. And I'm a big I Spit on Your Grave fan.
Yeah.
I love that movie. I think it's great.
We love comedies.
Yes. Children's comedies, it's fun for the whole family. But this was just agonizing.
So you suffered for somebody else's art.
Oh boy, did I.
Yeah.
Oh boy, did I. I mean, and so there's these 4 new characters who come in to attack Jennifer and her daughter.
Okay.
To which, by the way, if you look at the poster art for I Spit on Your Grave Deja Vu, you'll notice that the hair length on the actress who plays the daughter, Chrissy, I think her name is different. On the poster, her hair is long. In the movie, it's very short. I don't know what the story is behind that, but there it is.
I'm sorry. It's a bad movie. Why are we still talking about it?
because it is so colossally bad. It's sickening.
Okay,
Well,
we'll probably leave it at that and move on.
Maybe I probably should, because if I start talking about this, I'm gonna start getting outraged and just angry. And
well, let me just ask one thing about it. So, was there any redeeming qualities? Did it say anything about like the Me Too movement or anything that's like socially sort of like going on now?
absolutely not. That had that played zero role in this movie. This was 2019 trying to be exploitation, plain and simple, and it was just terrible. And bear in mind although maybe a little bit, I guess if you twist it around in a certain way, where one of the characters, one of the antagonists was a woman this time.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And here's the funny thing. None of their ages match up. Okay. It looks like it was shot in a desolate part of some backwoods state. But it was, you know what? Let's go to something else, please, because it was.
The first review I saw on IMDb is I spit on this film.
That's very true. Oh, and by the way, there is lots of spitting in this movie.
Wow.
Yeah, there's lots of spitting in this movie.
Truth in advertising.
But yeah, none of the ages match up. Like the woman who claims to be Johnny's wife from the first film. Now, Johnny in that movie looked like he was probably around maybe in his mid-30s. This woman looks like she's in her probably early 50s. Okay, and so the ages just don't match up.
So it's a direct sequel.
It's a direct sequel
by the original director.
By the original director
and the original actress.
And the original actress.
When the original come out? Late 70s?
1978.
Huh.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of just 1-star reviews on IMDb. Someone calls it the worst film of all time. Literally unwatchable. Boycott this film. Film made by grade 9 students.
It's terrible. It is just terrible.
It's sitting low with a 2.4 out of 10 on IMDb. That's one of the lowest rated films I may have ever seen.
Now there was a remake, right?
There was a remake with 2 sequels attached. Yes, and those are good. Surprisingly, those are halfway decent. But anyway, that's my truncated take on I Spit on Your Grave deja vu. It's watch some of it, please do me a favor and watch some of it. Alleviate some of my anger and just watch some of it so you could share this anger with me.
So I don't even know why I'm even bothering, but I'm looking at the lowest rated movies on IMDb, and the number 10 lowest rated one is Son of the Mask, which has a 2.4. So this one might not have made it because it doesn't have enough reviews or something. I don't know how many reviews a movie has to have to make the list, but this would be like the number 10 worst movie like of all time on IMDb.
Yeah, it's piss poor, really piss. And I know Camille, and I hope she never asks me what I thought of the film, because I hate to tell her I thought it was terrible.
Oh man! And Manos: The Hands of Fate is the number 3rd worst movie of all time.
That's a better movie than
Oh.
At least it's not 2.5 hours of Manos: Hands of Fate. It's only like 79 minutes or something like that. Some ridiculous.
Aries is going that night.
All right. I think he passed out.
Are we done? Can we move on?
Yes. Well, I had to get the scoop. I mean, MZ took the bullet.
I don't blame you.
Because we almost did that one, so it's a good thing we didn't.
You gotta keep this shit short when they're awful. You can just go bad.
Movie bad. Bad. No, but there's got to be a reason for it. You know, I just wanted to get that out there.
Why am I kind of curious?
There was a lot I had to get off my shoulder. Watch it.
Watch it.
Probably.
Watch it.
Oh, he can't even watch the movies we review.
No.
Yeah.
Let
Raven
alone
Shadow is not going to sit through a 2.5 hour movie.
Yeah, if it's got fucking Tony
Guys,
Stocks in it,
Tony,
do that.
Tony Stocks.
Tony Stocks in the Wu-Tang Clan. Yeah.
Tony Stocks.
Tony Stocks and Bonds. Did that on purpose, by the way, corny.
Tony Stocks and Bonds.
Tony Stocks and Bonds. Yeah, no, I don't like those kind of fucking films.
No.
Yeah,
You
calm me
like
down.
other kinds of fucking films.
Yes, I prefer of all the fucking films you could watch, I would prefer a different kind of fucking film than that fucking film.
So I'm going to be seeing you guys in a couple of days.
It's gonna be so nice, Johnny.
Well, as of when most
Jesus.
people are hearing this on the podcast, I'll already be there. So
Even better.
Is he gonna need a chaperone? What the fuck?
yeah,
I'm the chaperone.
oh, I'm your chaperone now. Oh man. So yeah, it should be fun. Looking forward to Rock and Shock. There's going to be awesome stuff. We're going to be doing some video. Hopefully we get not hopefully, we have to plan a time to do a film commentary Patreon type deal. So we got to figure out what movie we're going to do. We'll figure that out a little bit later.
Yeah.
But if you guys haven't already, go ahead and think of one. Put one in the back of your head, so when we start talking about it, you'll have something to talk about.
Oh, I'm excited.
All right, so I don't know. Maybe we should just start to wrap this shit up, unless someone else has any stories. Oh, one thing I'll say, it's not really a story, but I went to Six Flags this weekend. They have the Fright Fest they do, and I went on the Batwing. Have you heard of this roller coaster, Raven Shadow?
I've heard of it, but I've not seen it in action.
So
Last week when I knew they had it was the Joker Escape was their big one, right? From a couple years.
Maybe the Joker one they had at this one was the Joker's Jinx, and it was just like a coaster that did very tight turns. We didn't end up going on that one, but
Okay.
the Batwing, it's supposed to mimic flying in a Batwing. So
Oh, really? Oh, so you're doing like
yeah. So you get strapped in, and they lower it down so that you're up. So you're laying on your back, basically going backwards. So you're backwards on your back. So you think of like sitting in a recliner, and the recliner falls to the floor. Like that's kind of like your back against the floor, and your knees are like reclining up in a position like that. And it does the big ascent up like most roller coasters do, and then it turns upside down, so you're basically like flying. So you're like hanging, and it goes 50 miles an hour.
really?
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
Is that a lot faster than you think it's going to be? When you're
Yeah.
actually like that.
Yeah, it's nuts. It was a lot of fun, but it was fucking
Shit.
crazy. Like me and T-Dog are like getting strapped in, and then they lower it, so we're like, laying down, and we're like, what are we fucking doing? What are we doing with our lives? And but it's supposed to mimic flying around like the Batwing, like it does these quick spins and turns and loops and upside down and stuff. So it's supposed to mimic what flying in a Batwing would be like.
Actually, Aries brought up a video in studio.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we're watching that now.
Oh, Jesus.
Probably go on like sixflags.com. Check that out.
But
What color was it?
what's that?
What color was it?
What color was what?
The ride.
I don't,
You're looking at it. It's yellow and blue. Or...
That's why I'm confused. I thought it was my new sunglasses, but shouldn't it be black?
I don't know. We actually went on it at night, so I don't even remember what the color of the actual ride was. I think it was dark though. It could be there could be different Batwings. I don't know. This is the one in Maryland, DC area. So
Yeah, I didn't I just typed in Batwing coaster and typed started watching the first video that came up for the coaster.
But no, it's fun. So and then
That's cool.
and then they do for Fright Fest, like all the like zombies come out at like 6 p.m. Like they all like creep out into the streets and try to scare the hell out of people. So
That's awesome. No, I know they've been doing that for years. I just never had a chance to check it out. But that's our note from Marion. But yeah, no, I want to check that out. Is it geared more towards like adults or is it still all ages?
no, it's all ages. So, but that was fun. And then we also went to a masquerade ball, the Black Cat Ball, in honor of Edgar Allan Poe International Festival, which happened down here. And so we got to, you guys would be proud of me, we got to do a cognac toast to Edgar Allan Poe right next to his gravesite. And
Really?
I took a little sip of cognac and I regretted it.
Wow.
And then you spit it out in a plant next to it.
No, I just took a sip. I didn't drink the whole shot. I just took a sip and it burned.
Oh, it burned.
Have you ever had cognac?
Yes, I have.
Oh, yes, I have. Oh, a connoisseur of fine cognac.
Yes, I've had cognac before a couple of times. It's not like Aries whiskey, but I've had it a couple of times.
And you're saying it doesn't burn.
Oh, it's fine.
Give him a shot of whiskey right now, Aries.
Yeah.
Go ahead, have a sip.
Come on.
Drink it. Your lips are all over
Come
it.
on, man up.
It hasn't stopped you before.
I don't drink anymore. You know,
I
have a beer every now and again, but that's it.
Yeah, those 2 beers a year really fucking. You got to calm down.
Yeah.
We're all fucking concerned about your health.
And so I think it was actually yesterday, the 7th of October was the 170th anniversary of Edgar Allan Poe's death.
Oh shit!
So
Very exciting.
yeah, isn't it? So
Yeah,
there's some flashbacks for you.
that was good. Yeah, you are embracing the Baltimore culture over there.
That's right. Trying to, you know.
There's a lot of culture in New England too, but yeah, Baltimore's fine.
There's a lot of culture. There's a lot of culture in
A lot of culture here.
Philadelphia too, right?
That's you. Somehow I thought Maryland was Philadelphia, so that's for clarifying.
Oh, there we go with that.
All right. So if no one has anything else, I think we should start to wrap this up. Someone
I
else?
do have one thing.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh God, you're gonna whip out your new 8x10s, aren't you?
I do. So I'm getting ahead of myself, but I got some new 8x10s, Johnny.
Oh,
Can you
new.
throw his base, please?
Are these the ones
Use
that
your
I know?
base.
Or throw him.
But no, I got some special 8x10s. I've been going through the archives, and I want to show you guys. And I will say this: I will give you guys final cut. If you don't like these 8x10s, I will not bring them to Rock and Shock.
Don't bring him the rocket.
Don't bring him to Rock and Shock.
I think you should see them before I show you.
All right. Let's give him that. I'll give him that.
I'm going to show Aries our new 8x10. So if you haven't made your Rock and Shock plans now, this may be the only place to get them. So we're not sure yet, but I will let you guys choose. So Aries, why don't you look in this folder first? Just I want you to look at it
You
first.
honestly think anything in this folder is going to make me say bring it?
Well, Johnny, what are the odds? So now it's a separate conversation, Johnny. What's the over in Baltimore that what I have in that folder is something that Aries is going to say bring it?
What are the chances?
What are the odds? Yeah.
Probably. I don't know. I don't know what the odds are. Probably a little.
Wow.
Look at the second one.
There's two.
Yeah.
It's great radio.
That's impressive. I'm sorry.
So
I'm at a loss. We're gonna bring those.
So wow, Johnny, we got time for the odds. So what you can't see here is Aries wants these photos brought to Rock and Shock.
Okay.
I'm gonna speak to Johnny, and I'm gonna say I'm pretty sure Johnny wants me to bring these photos to Rock and Shock. I want to get your approval that these photos can go to Rock and Shock.
First one's a little blurry, so we may not do the first one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm still working on that. I have we have some tech support. That's not Johnny.
Tech support.
All right.
So
All right. Hold on. Here we go.
All right.
So-
MZ will give it the real reaction. Let's see.
I think MZ approves. I don't know.
Is it the one you
And
sent
we
me?
may have a reenactment of the photo right now.
Yeah. Oh, so it is the one he sent me. Okay.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Wow.
To those listening at home, it is a zoomed-in photo of MZ laughing himself
Hold on.
into
Yeah,
unconsciousness,
I'll
and
show him to the camera.
yeah, and then there's a wide-angle view of the whole studio. And he's still dying about this. Oh yeah, yeah, that's good. Yeah,
So month zero, we'll sign that photo.
Yeah.
After Rock and Shock.
okay. Now hold up the other one.
Yeah, it's
And there's
hard
also a wide angle shot of the near death and Johnny and I being completely oblivious to that.
to- Wow. What if Listen to this guy.
Now I do want you to take note of this, Raven Shadow.
Yes.
This is the first time you've proved me wrong.
See? See?
Mark this date down because it won't ever happen again.
Timestamp. Timestamp. That's exciting, right?
Now, whose idea was that?
Well, no, I've been thinking about it for a
It was
while.
all, it was all Raven Shadow.
Yeah.
Really? That is funny. That might be the funniest thing you've ever did intentionally.
But I will say, though, I got to give props to Marion for getting me those images.
To actually
sent to me.
doing the work.
Yeah. Well, I was in the studio. I printed, so there are 21 of each of these photos.
Oh my God.
That will be.
That's a one-time printing, and that's all there ever will be.
We
yeah.
destroy the mold.
First come, first serve, and they will be signed.
Yes.
Oh, that's funny.
What, what about what might make for a good one too is the one where we did from Rock and Chalk last year where we reenacted it.
Yeah. I was thinking about that one too.
What?
Oh, on stage, that one.
Yeah. Because I think that just got posted on I think it was posted on the Deadite social media to promote Rock and Chalk. So
Yeah, I think I may have that one. If someone has that, send it to me. I was thinking about that too.
Have what? I missed it. What?
Because you were fucking passed out.
Yeah. the reenactment of you passing out from Rock and Chalk last year.
When we were talking about it last year. Okay.
Yeah.
But there's some other great ones too that we got too. There's the moment where you can't see this here, but I might do the moment where actually MZ does have the laughter, and I might make like a flip book out of it.
Flip book.
Yeah, because it's so fucking fascinating.
Oh my God.
Very exciting. But yeah, it's been a fan favorite. We've been talking about it. It was the hit of our last year's live show. So I feel that.
How long are we going to milk this whole thing where I passed out?
Until
This
you
is
finally
never going
die.
away.
Yeah. Here's where you actually have the realization where you laugh at your own joke.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's
oh,
the
I got. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
screen
episode
grab.
227. Believe me, I know it.
That's why,
yeah,
because you wouldn't shut up about it. That's why it's infamous.
No, it's because I almost died. You guys didn't do anything about it, and I have a right to know when I die,
Yeah,
or
we-
come close to
we
death.
did
I
something
think I
about it.
earned that right.
We did something about it. We laughed at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, after the fact. I mean, even if you were laughing while it was still going on, at least it's still something. You guys did nothing.
I thought you were just having a nap.
All right, we've gone over this a million times. So
Yes, we.
So they're the new 8x10s. If you are Rock and Shock, stop by. Maybe you'll get one while supplies last.
Oh, God.
And so if you guys want to help support the show, as we mentioned, we're going to be doing our very first ever film commentary. That'll be available on Patreon as soon as I can get it up. So maybe when we get back from Rock and Shock, maybe I'll try to just get it up right away. So that'll be going up soon. So if you guys have not yet contributed, please feel free. Head on over to patreon.com/trickortreatradio. And for as little as $2 a month, you can help us keep the lights on. If you guys want that bonus exclusive content, it's $5 a month. And we'll make sure we give you some cool stuff. So check that out, patreon.com/trickortreatradio. And if you guys shop on Amazon, I know most of you do, go ahead and use our link. Head on over to trickortreatradio.com. Scroll down, look for the Amazon logo, click it. It'll bring you right to Amazon. It'll input our affiliate link. It doesn't cost you any extra, Michael Ravenshadow.
But it's another way to help keep the lights on.
That's right. And also, head on over to trickortreatradio.com, and there you can click on Store, and from there, you can purchase some digital goods. We got the greatest hits of Trick or Treat Radio, volumes 1 through 3, and there's some other stuff. So give it a look, and if you guys want to help support the show, you like what you hear, you want to help things running smoothly, go ahead and help us out. And Corny's now hanging out, and he says, I like how in the Rock and Shock live show where he blamed me for not helping him.
It's true.
Yeah, you did. You blamed Corny for not helping.
Nobody did shit. What do you want from me? I was dying.
What do you expect from Corny from Alabama? What do you want him to do?
Yeah.
He doesn't have to do anything. He's a visitor. He doesn't have to do anything.
Wait, I think you're confused.
Yeah.
When you almost died, he was in Alabama.
Yeah,
Okay. No, I got it confused. So, regardless, it's not his. I mean, he could have said something, but he didn't because he probably thought because you two would do something. You got no argument.
I don't know. I didn't see you over there. I was too busy looking at myself on camera.
Fixing his hair.
Yeah. Looking at yourself on camera and laughing, apparently. Look at you. You look like Chong, for Christ's sake.
Marion asked if we talked about the Pulse thing. We mentioned it last week, right?
I don't think we did. We didn't.
No?
No.
We had to have.
We didn't.
I thought we did. I thought we mentioned it, but it bears repeating again. We got it was actually, the piece was done over the summer when we were at Scarecon, but we had a piece done about us, a local piece in the Pulse magazine, and it was put out a few weeks ago, just talking about Trick or Treat Radio, talking about us, talking about, I don't know, horror, and they thought we were a Halloween show.
What we do,
but hey,
yeah, what
cool.
we do to put the show on, and
yeah, it was nice. It was nice that they did that, and so you can check it out. It's online as well as in print. If you are anywhere in the Worcester area, you can check out the print copy. But otherwise, search it online. Look for Trick or Treat Radio Pulse. So yeah, so that was cool. And
So
yeah.
well, little side note. I was out on Saturday getting a bagel, and as I'm waiting in line to get my bagel, I look down and someone's flipping through the Pulse, and they flip by the article.
Right
and I was
by
like,
it.
well, it's kind of like, oh, he paused for a second, but I was kind of hoping for that whole like, hey, that's you, like, but no, and then he moved on. And I'm like, okay, but it was just weird to see someone flipping through the magazine that I'm in.
Yeah.
Like, hey, by the way, see that guy there? It's me. Aries God of War.
well, my autograph.
Nice to meet ya, Aries God of War.
Yeah. You want my autograph or I'll beat you?
So let's wrap this up. Raven Shadow.
Yes.
You sit down and watch Tone Deaf. You watched it a few weeks ago, actually.
I did.
Did you rewatch it?
I did rewatch it.
Okay.
I did.
So what did you do to prepare to rewatch this movie?
Oh, I went to the fucking eye doctor, Johnny.
Gotta get those peepers checked out.
Yeah, well, fucking pissed me off. Like, I fucking had to get some new drops, refill my eye drop prescription because I got fucking some medical problems. And my doctor wouldn't fill them.
Stop smoking the dope.
No, it's not those kind of drops. But no, she wouldn't let me. She wanted me to be seen before I got my eye drops. Like, it's not a fucking controlled substance. It's fucking eye drops, right? So I fucking went to go for an appointment, and I want to pick up my brand new retinted sunglasses. See that?
Oh.
See those, Johnny?
Your blue blockers?
Yeah, no, I block fucking blue balls. My blue ball blockers. Keep that away from me. And I didn't really know that I'd have so many tests today, and I didn't know my eyes would be dilated. So new glasses or not, it was a very interesting ride home.
Yeah, I was gonna say, could you drive?
Yeah, well, they asked me, like, oh, do you have a problem with the eyes being dilated? I'm like, no, I'm a fucking veteran. I've had that fucking a lot.
They're like, oh, what ward you serving?
Yeah, no, it's called a lot of drug abuse in the 90s and early 2000s and late 2000s. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Still with you.
So I
Okay.
drove. Yeah, it was a fun ride, drive home, and Aries just fucking looking at me, give me that look that he looks like when he looks at me. I didn't even fucking talk about the pipe yet.
Jesus Christ.
So then I strapped on.
You go through your week with the same old routine.
What you really want is some blood and thunder in your life.
Well, friend, you found it.
The Cromcast is an adventurous journey through the history of two-fisted pulp stories
With your host, John,
Josh,
and Luke.
we have action.
horror.
An adventure, all through the lens of pulp luminary Robert E. Howard.
Don't just stay in your ordinary life.
Find your pulp life at thecromcast.blogspot.com.
The Cromcast,
The Cromcast.
The Cromcast!
a podcast for the barbarian at heart.
Trick or Treat Radio is the greatest podcast ever invented. The spelling is very bad. I'm not sure who wrote this. And the Deedites? The Deedites. Is that a company that procures houses? The Deadites. Oh, it's the Deadites. The Deadites are a fantastic musical act. That is what I was supposed to say. And there you go. There it is. Cheeseburger. Remember to rent The Fly, because that's a good movie for making love to.
Jeff Goldblum, thank you so much for joining us, and hopefully we can get you on the show again sometime soon.
Oh, delicious nerds. Ms. M knows you like to chat it up with other sexy shut-ins about comics, movies, video games, and your favorite TV shows. If that sounds like you, cuddle up to the Trick or Treat Radio Facebook group, or the FIB. That stands for Fan Interaction Board. Just go to Facebook and search for Trick or Treat Radio and have more fun than a Jedi at a lightsaber sale. Not enough? Watch us on YouTube, The Deadites TV, all one word. Last but not least, check out the world's most dangerous talk radio show, Trick or Treat Radio, at trickortreatradio.com.
I could be staying outside a woman's prison in a fistful of 50s and a bouquet of dildos, and no woman would come near me.
And we're back on Trick or Treat Radio. All right, we're going to talk about a movie, and that movie is Tone Deaf. This movie is rated R, 87 minutes, and is a comedy horror thriller. It is written and directed by Richard Bates Jr., and it stars Amanda Crew, Robert Patrick, Haley Marie Norman, Johnny Pemberton, Nancy Linehan Charles, Anna Lynn McCord, Ray Wise, and Kim Delaney. Synopsis: a woman goes to the countryside to spend a quiet weekend after losing her job and having her last complicated relationship implode. She rents a country house to an old-fashioned widower who struggles to hide his psychopathic tendencies. All right. So, Tone Deaf. Now, let me quickly talk about the director, Richard Bates Jr., and he has previously directed such films as Trash Fire, Suburban Gothic, and Excision. Did you see Excision, MZ? I can't remember.
I can't remember either.
Wow. Okay.
Let me see. I don't.
I know they.
It sounds familiar.
I know they reviewed it on the Elm Street Kids way back. That's why I couldn't remember if it was one that you were on, but I don't think so. You probably remember.
So I don't think so. Well, it has Ariel Winter and Tracy Lords in it, so
so you should see it.
Yeah.
And it's got, as I mentioned, the legendary Ray Wise.
Yes, who will be at Rock and Shock this weekend?
He will. Yep. But it's always good to see him. I do like Ray Wise a lot, so it's good to see him.
Yeah.
And let's see. Yeah, so Robert Patrick, obviously, if you guys don't know by name, he played the T-1000 in Terminator 2. That was his biggest claim to fame, probably. But he was also in didn't he take over for David Duchovny on X-Files?
Yes. He also was in Sopranos season 2 as the degenerate gambler, and reprised the role of the T-1000 in Wayne's World. Two.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, the first one.
I thought it was the second one.
No,
it was the first one, right?
It was the first one.
Oh, not bad.
Aries got a continuity.
I am.
He was also in Fire in the Sky.
Oh, I love that movie.
Which is a good movie. Yeah.
And something else recently too.
Yeah, isn't this like the second Robert Patrick film that we reviewed this year or something? For some reason,
I don't know. Actually, I don't think so. But I guess it's
on a network show for a couple of years recently called Scorpions.
Yeah, which actually,
yeah. Thanks for just jumping all over my my little talk here.
I fucking am acknowledging you were sharing a moment that we watched some weird mid-card show.
Oh, Backroads. We reviewed the movie Backroads.
Yeah, Backrobes and Broomsticks.
No, we didn't.
No, we didn't.
We didn't?
No.
We did not.
No.
It was Backrubs.
That was your other maybe.
Yeah,
Backrubs
is your other
Broomsticks.
podcast.
Yeah. But I watched I was like, I think I might have been bedridden for a couple of days, and I was watching that. That had the dude that
you were the bedridden?
Yeah. It had,
yeah.
From the
American Pie.
American Pie.
All right. So let's jump into this film here, Tone Deaf. And also, it would be worth mentioning that it's only a bit part, but Ray Santiago from Ash vs. Evil Dead is also in this movie.
Yeah. He plays the lead's boss.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I just want to throw into Rob Patrick was also
No.
Damn motorcycles.
Moving on.
No.
You totally cut out, so I don't know. We didn't hear anything you
Oh.
said. So it's
Didn't
probably
miss
for the
anything.
best. It was probably for the best. All right, so this is going to be an interesting one to talk about because there's very much a commentary going on here between different generations. Like we have Olive, who is very clearly a millennial. I'm sure Aries hated her. No comment. And
she was fine. Nothing wrong with her.
And then we had Harvey, who played by Robert Patrick, who was a baby boomer. And we sort of get this, and it turns kind of meta in a sense where it breaks the fourth wall a couple times as well, which I thought was kind of interesting, but also a little jarring, I guess I'd say. I
found it less jarring than The Dead Don't Die for me.
Okay. But that I guess it's different because this just breaks the fourth wall where the Dead Don't Die just got completely meta in the sense that it was self-aware of what it was, So I think
I didn't know whether this was like a fourth wall break or it was like his dementia where he thought he was actually talking to someone.
Well, I guess
kind of
that could be, but I thought the Olive Head broke the fourth wall as well in one scene. But
I didn't get that. I must have missed that.
And yes, you did.
Yeah.
But I was kind of along with Aries when we see Robert Patrick's character. You weren't quite sure who he was talking to, or maybe because of his.
Well, he was talking to the camera, clearly talking to the camera. So, I mean, if the camera was someone else,
But yeah, I think the way it could have, depending on what he had going on, what made his character turn.
Yeah.
It could have been a person.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know. Is that spoiling?
No, it's not spoiler.
No, it's right from the get-go. He had dementia.
Did it say that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You might as well have a name tag on it that said dementia. It was right that's...
But I think that was him. I thought that was him working an angle.
Dementia?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's from fucking Dementia
Maybe you
X.
should have watched this 3 times.
Yeah, why don't you watch
Johnny.
a 4th time while you're at it?
All right, can you make it go on in the studio like he used to?
So, there was definitely, and there's no real spoilers in this, so I think we can talk fairly freely about this sort of cultural divide or generational divide, rather. And the funny thing is, I think that they played all of like a textbook definition of what most non-millennials would think a millennial is like, Like, I think they really kind of ratcheted it up. I don't know. Do you guys agree with that?
I'm trying to follow what he meant by that. What non-millennials?
What we would think a millennial.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. I got lost in what he was saying there.
See, I mean, I don't know. I mean, and maybe this is as somebody who was, in his 40s. I mean, I get that. I get the older I get. I do embrace the get off my lawn culture.
That's probably not a good thing.
Well, yeah. I mean, just get off the fucking lawn. You know what I mean? Like. I understand Clint Eastwood more and more. No.
Oh Jesus!
But no, not like that.
Uh-huh.
No. All right, fucking Johnny, really. But sometimes get off my fucking lawn. But no. I mean, I don't think she was obnoxious. I mean, she was a younger kid. I think her boyfriend at first was more of a d-bag than she was.
Yeah, for sure.
And so maybe this is me being old now. So what's a millennial? Someone in there. She seemed to be probably mid-20s.
No, the actress who played her, I think, is 32.
Well, yeah, that doesn't matter though.
Which still qualifies her as being a millennial.
So, the millennial generation is from. You had to be born between 1981 and 1996.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's that 15-year period. So the oldest.
Wait, a millennial is 81?
Yeah, the oldest millennial could be 38, and the youngest could be 23.
Wait, no.
Yeah,
wait.
you're almost a fucking millennial. Deal with it.
No. I think we skipped something.
We didn't.
No.
What did you skip?
We're Degeneration X, right?
Just Generation X.
Generation X.
I know you really want that D in front of it, but we're
we're just Generation X.
All right. Well, I think I'm degenerate. X fuck. All right. So we're Degeneration X. And then it's what the New Age Outlaws know. I thought it was Generation Y.
That's now. That's after millennial.
No.
Yes.
That makes no sense because the millennium just happened in 2000.
Correct.
We're really getting off topic here.
Millennials are also known as Gen Y.
Yes.
That's just
You
another
can't
name.
have
No, it's just another name.
See, I've heard the next gen being called Gen Y. The teens, 20s now.
Yeah.
So we were Generation X, and then the next generation is Generation Z, apparently.
Oh.
So,
all right, but there was one in between. But it doesn't make sense. Someone can't be 38 and be a fucking millennial.
Why not?
Because
yes,
we're less
they
than
can.
fucking.
Yes, they can.
Yes, they can. It starts in 81.
The new millennium started in 1981.
That doesn't have anything to do with it.
They became of age during the turn of the millennium.
I don't buy it.
During Y2K.
It doesn't matter if you're buying it
Yeah.
because it's happening.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you believe it. It's just fact.
Wait, no, Johnny, because you and I are much
fuck
younger.
Me sideways.
We came.
I really have to deal with this.
Not even the right way. But we came of age in the Y2K.
You were a fucking old man in Y2K.
No, I was 20.
You're an old fucking man.
Like 20.
Yeah, that's
Raven
old.
Shadow. This isn't up for debate.
Yeah, stop.
I think it is.
No,
Corny.
it's not.
Can we just continue?
We can, yeah, if he'll let us.
Yeah, all right, then let's continue. Let's just drop it.
All right, fucking, spit in your
Ridiculous.
grave, deja vu. Let's fucking go back to that fucking topic.
I tried to move that one along. No one backed me.
I don't buy it. All right.
You don't buy it?
I'm gonna talk to some people out of Rocket Shock.
All right. It's
Let me know how that works
They're
out
gonna
for
think
you.
you're
it's not gonna
fucking nuts
change
if you start talking to people.
You're like it's
Are
like
you
a
guys
flat,
really Generation Y?
you're like a flat earther over there. You're like a
No, I've seen
you're like a
globes
millennial denier.
Millennial denier.
I mean, at least Aries hates them because he acknowledges the existence of them. You don't even do that.
No, I've seen them at like bus stops and coffee shops.
You work with them.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah,
Yeah.
and they're fine. Some of my best friends are millennials.
Yeah, it's not a negative thing.
No, it's if that's what they choose.
They didn't choose it.
Jesus. What a
All right, Buzz.
Evil Corny says that Raven Shadow is an old man set in his ways.
There we go.
Yeah.
So
Hey,
right.
we're the
So
same
right.
age, Corny. Just saying.
So it's not up for debate, Raven Shadow. Okay, that's what a millennial is. Like
you
it or
can't be
not.
38.
Yes,
If
you
you're
can.
38, no. If you're 38, you can be part of DX.
Why are you having such a problem with this?
It's absurd.
Why?
I don't know. I think
It doesn't matter if you think it's absurd. What's fact is fact. Deal with it.
Someone that's 75 years old is called a baby boomer.
I have some questions about that too. Well, I mean, like
They're not babies. They're old people.
no, like my old man.
Yeah,
like
Corny,
he's a baby
Corny brings up
Yeah.
a good point here. He says we turned 24 in 2000, Raven Shadow.
oh yeah, we did. 'Cause that was cool. So we were
That was
They're still smoking bars like a fucking grown up. All right, so Al is my dad, and he's like 60, whatever the fuck. He's a baby boomer, right? After
Yeah.
World War II, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
You got a problem with that?
No, it's good. No, it's
It's good.
So that was just a statement? You're not going anywhere with that?
no. But like, I get that. I mean, I don't. How old was Robert Patrick was in '74?
He's a
Hung up.
baby boomer. He was born before the Generation X generation.
And after World War II generation. Right?
Yeah.
The greatest generation, as they say. Thank you for your service, those of you who are still alive. Before you.
The baby boomers aren't the greatest generation.
No, they came after the greatest generation.
Oh my!
Do you need a
fucking
flow chart?
God. What is the best generation? What are you trying to say?
Thank you for your service during World War II.
So the silent generation was the best. Is that what you're saying?
When did they come? Who's the silent one? What, before
my
before the
God.
talkies ruined pictures? Like fucking Gabe, not Gabe Kaplan, Charlie Chaplin.
Gabe Kaplan.
Gabe Kaplan.
Well, they both had mustaches.
No,
You know what?
Charlie Chaplin, right?
Wolfie, I swear to God, I'm gonna beat you over the head with this goddamn mallet.
What
You're
did
gonna-
he do?
Yeah, what did I do?
Because he picked a movie that had to deal with millennials, and now we got to deal with this fucking conversation.
And you thought I was going to be the problem today, didn't you?
I honestly did.
I don't have a problem with millennials. Good
No,
luck.
you just have a problem calling them millennials.
I think. All right. Well, all right. We can table this for now.
Stop being so soft on the
Okay,
millennials.
you know what? Let's just ask flat out. What do you think a millennial should be?
A nice person.
No.
Wrong.
Age.
Give dates.
Yeah, dates.
Give
Come
dates.
on.
Yeah, give an age on when age-wise. What is a millennial?
I would say someone that's probably now 21, 22, the most.
That would fall in the 1996, 1997 category.
Right.
1998.
So you're really just hooked on the whole being born around the millennial.
Yes.
So the millennial generation is 5 years at tops. Then
Well,
we have a 5-year generation.
Well, I mean, it's the time different. Like you could have a week. A comic book could take place in a week because of the pacing of it. You know what I mean? Or it could be a year.
Yeah, but this is life. You do realize a generation is roughly 20 years, give or take.
Well, yeah, for the last 20 years, it's 2020 after this recording.
You know, I'm glad you're talking about this because I want all that stupid out of your system before the weekend ends.
Yeah, before the
no,
live show.
This should have been saved for the live show.
Yeah, we're talking about the difference between millennials and baby boomers at the live
good.
show. Compare and
I'm
contrast.
going to take a poll. No, I'm going to get some signatures. You don't even fucking know. I'm getting D-Rook is going to come with me. And,
no, he's not.
He's at least Stephen Van Samson will come with me.
No, he's not.
No, because you didn't buy his album.
I'm going to buy his fucking album.
He's not bringing it this
Yeah,
time.
he's not
You
gonna
didn't
bring
buy
it
it
this
last
time.
time.
You didn't buy it, yeah.
I don't know what you guys are fucking talking about. I'll be honest with you.
We don't know what you're talking
You made him
about.
bring physical media and you didn't buy it. That's what we're talking about.
I'm going to send him a message right now.
Go ahead. Tell him to bring one CD so you can buy the one fucking CD.
What if he's a millennial though?
I can't tell because he's on that retro Redoctopus program.
Yeah.
And he talks about things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can like things that are older than you.
Yeah.
I like you.
I don't believe you.
Yeah, especially with this conversation.
I love you so much. And you're just confusing the hell out of me with your sorcerous ways.
Go check your pipe.
I am concerned about my pipe. Johnny, he put his drill all the way through every wall.
Good.
Just shut
I'm
up.
very concerned. No, I mean, whatever the fuck. Where's Leanna?
Yeah, she would fucking learn you.
Kim,
I want some clarification.
Can we continue with the movie, please?
Not you old fogies. The golden boys up in here.
All right.
All right.
So, so we have Olive. She's going through a rough patch. She loses her job. Her relationship is ending, which I actually thought that scene was pretty funny. He's like, I think this isn't working. She's like, I know, get out, basically. And he's like, I already have another girlfriend. And I recognize that guy from The Office. He was in a few episodes of The Office, but I think we've seen him in some other stuff as well.
Yeah.
He's been on Veep, and he's been on a show called Abby.
Okay. There you go. So, we have this set up, and her friends are like, oh, you should get away. You should get away. And she's like, well, I just lost my job. I shouldn't, be doing that. And then she decides to do that. And she goes to a site that's called R&R, which is essentially like an Airbnb type of deal, and gets like a really nice place and gets her for the weekend for like $500. And then we cut to Robert Patrick in like a dank cellar on his computer, like emailing back and forth with her. I just thought that was kind of funny that, we have we already show the difference between the generations, because she's probably, I think she was on her MacBook or something like that. And, he's in some like dungeony, like sort of like cellar replying on his computer. It looks like mom's basement, essentially,
Yeah, it was kind of like Dr. Claw, like typing, and even he had the big computer keyboard.
Yeah, that keyboard just
then-
looked old, and he was one fingering the keys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so he's offering up his place, and then he's definitely sociopath and probably psychopath as well, but he is sort of interested in, he's what did he say? He said, like, I basically done it all except kill a person. Like, that's sort of what he's kind of alluding to, and he doesn't have much to live for. His wife's gone, and he's just kind of like going down this downward spiral. So
He has a son. He mentions, and that's commentary to his wife is that he would give, however many years he was alive with his son for one more day with her.
Yeah, yeah. And then we have on the flip side, we have Olive and her family, and her dad had killed himself, suicide, hung himself, and the mom sort of went off, kind of like a hippie retreat. She's sort of like living
like a commune.
Yeah, in a commune, yeah. And so Olive is sort of like on her own, kind of fending for herself, and she has some, there's definitely some PTSD regarding her dad, just still kind of hanging on to that, and she has some visions about it. And there's actually one cool scene. We'll probably get a little bit deeper into it as we talk more about it, but there's that cool scene where she did, was it LSD, I think she took, and she's
or acid.
Having that conversation with her dad. I thought that was one of the coolest scenes in the movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm.
You didn't think so?
No.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
No.
So that's the basic setup. I mean, we do have, and as she's heading to the house, we have Robert Patrick who's outside at his wife's grave, and then he completely breaks the fourth wall and talks about your generation, and it's as if he's talking to the millennials, and it's an interesting way to take it, and I think that those two generations are very much at odds. We're sort of caught in the middle, the Gen X, I guess, and I think there's some of us can relate more to the boomers, some of us can relate more to the millennials. I think as much as you guys might hate to say it, especially Aries, we definitely are more on the side of the millennials because, we're not crotchety old fucks that, think everyone else, like that ruined things for everyone else, but blames them,
But I'm older than all of you guys, so I think I side more with the boomers a little bit.
Not mentally, and I don't mean that in a negative way. You just don't think like you generally don't think like that. You're open-minded to. That's what I mean. It's just the way that we sort of.
Just the way your mind works, as opposed to when your physical being.
No, not necessarily. Not in that aspect. Just the fact that you're more open to new ideas, opposed to a baby boomer, which at that age you're just you're just 100% set. Nothing's going to change.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
And that's interesting. I mean, and not everyone, not to every baby boomer or every millennial, every member of DX is the same. But no, I think it's fair to say there's some recent things that are becoming more and more prevalent, whether it be the gender roles or whatever you want to call it, even down to taking a knee, or the way that the culture has shifted, where someone who is over a certain age may just see that more like the previous generation.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And I'm not saying all of them, but I think that's an interesting point, Johnny, of being kind of torn between two generations, where as we're getting older, one could say oh, well, I guess I understand my parents a lot more now, in terms of.
Yeah. I mean,
on the road to being crotchety.
Yeah. I mean, we're all in our 40s, but I mean, I don't feel my age. When I was younger, when I thought about, being 43, I probably thought my life would be I wouldn't be progressing anymore. I would just be just be who I am and just getting older, but now I feel better than I've ever felt, physically and mentally, and and I think it's just being sort of just being open to new things and trying new things, and I think that's a lot to do with it. And if I really genuinely think that you're old when you stop learning. When you shut off from the rest of the world, that's when you become old, because you're not evolving, you're not growing, you're not doing anything, you're just stagnant, And I think that's a true indication of age,
And I think it's a progression too, where I think what's being more prominent now, I mean, is thoughts and feelings that I think our generation did have, where I think we're more open to different ideas and lifestyles.
Yeah.
You know,
whereas definitely boomers are not, like, for the most part, and I'm making a generalization.
Right.
You know, it's not everyone, absolutely not everyone, but you know, because I have some relatives that are boomers that are very open to things, and you know, I know some people that are. So it's definitely, I don't mean to generalize, but by and large, that generation is shut off and doesn't, you know, they just are set in their ways, you know. So yeah, it's kind of an interesting, you know, it's interesting to kind of compare the two, because like we said, Gen X, our generation, is sort of caught in the middle, and we have these two very disparate generations on either side of us, you know, that are very different. Once again, by and large, not I'm not saying everyone is, but for the most part, they're very different. And you know, and especially with technology, we have, like, you know, boomers kind of have denied it for a long time. Some embrace it. You know, once again, I'm making generalizations. I don't want to have to defend every single one, but you know, a lot of them just sort of eschew technology and don't want to change with the times, whereas millennials grew up with it and they are incredibly technologically savvy, you know. And then there's us in the middle, and then you have a Raven Shadow, and then you have a me.
Yeah.
No, but you know, but there you know, there are people who are in our generation that haven't embraced it or don't really care about technology or social media, and there's a lot of us who do. So, you know, that's why we're kind of caught in the middle, I think. So I'm sure we could talk a little bit more about the generational divide as we continue to talk about this, but you know, I definitely want to start breaking down the movie a little bit more. And so this was basically, you know, a film that is juxtaposing these two generations in a pseudo. I hesitate to call it a slasher, but it's a horror movie where Robert Patrick's character explores something he's never done before, and that's homicide, killing people. You know, like, he just has never done it, and when he does it, he kind of gets a little bit of a rush out of it, you know. And I think that he feels like he needs to, I don't know if he feels like he's clinging to his generation, and doing this sort of like gives him some benefit. I don't know. Like, I don't know exactly what's driving his character, but he does it, and you know, and then Olive obviously is the protagonist, and she is the one that's directly in his, you know, in his crosshairs, so to speak, if you will, you know.
Well, it's almost like his agenda evolved once he kind of got a taste. Yep. You know, even down to where he knew enough to take her name when she booked the room, you know. And then on one hand, too, she knew enough when asked the question, how many will you be there? How many's coming?
Yeah.
You know, but when he did like a Google search in her face came, a bunch of people with that same name came up. You notice how many of them were all older? Probably would be that baby boomer generation.
Yep.
And there was the one, and even she had that post of like, my vagina bites back, or something along those lines, it was some kind of like a kind of shirt you'd wear at like a protest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he instantly knew that was his mark, air quotes. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But then, so it's almost like he wanted a millennial. Like that's what he was hungry for. He needed to kill the new generation to prove how great the previous one was.
Yeah.
But once things went in motion, he kind of lost some of his what's the word I want to call it? Most of his selectiveness went away.
And he started to branch out other age groups.
Well, yes.
Yes.
But then he also became kind of infatuated with Olive for other reasons as well, you know. Like there was a piano thing, you know.
Playing.
Yeah.
The fact it's also very attractive.
Yeah, so there's some other things, but yes, I think that is right. That I think that's the main sort of theme of this is he found someone of a generation that he does not like, and that's kind of his way to get back at them. So, it was a little heavy-handed at times, but I think that it didn't really bother me per se. I thought that there was actually some good comedy that came from that. So I don't necessarily begrudge the director for utilizing, that as much as he did, but it's a fine line to walk, because this can go horribly wrong or it could go right, And I will say I'm still sort of on the line about what I think about this and whether or not it was super effective. I think there's some good stuff and there's some stuff,
See, once again, I saw it twice.
You're gonna keep saying that as much as you can, aren't you?
I saw it twice, just saying that. But I got a sense like it's kind of like it was two movies. I kind of thought that her story with her friends and what she encountered was more like, comedy, whereas his was more horror, and they kind of met in the middle. They converged.
Yeah.
Down to who. Good.
I could see that. It was almost like I got like like her sort of side of the story. I got almost like kind of like a Clueless vibe. That movie Clueless, Alicia Silverstone.
Yeah.
I got kind of like that sort of vibe to it, I guess. And you're right. Like his was more of sort of like almost like a Bates Motel sort of vibe.
Like laying the trap kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But then all the people that she encountered, whether it's and I forget, and once again, that dude from Ash vs. Evil Dead was great as a smarmy dick. And my favorite line was definitely, "Oh, what are you doing? Just gonna see who deserves to get herpes tonight," or whatever that line was.
Yeah.
Or I fucking lost it. And even down to her friends, who, oh yeah, play the piano, it'll be great.
Yeah. And everyone's like, "Oh yeah, you're great. You're great. You're so good." And meanwhile, she's terrible,
horrible at it. Yeah. So I thought that did work for me, where it never strayed too far from either, lack of a better term, genre, but it was a nice juxtaposition for me.
See, I had a problem that it didn't pick who you were following.
Really?
Like, because it I don't know. I would have liked to have had one character where it was the focus and not bounce back and forth, because I just felt that was too jarring, because the feel for the characters was completely different. So that just was too jarring to me, that there was no focal point. It was the two characters. So it was two different feels for the movie.
But you don't think that was like the cat and mouse game of the predator and prey?
If that was their intention, that's fine. But it was too jarring for me. It took me out of the movie every time it switched.
Okay.
Yeah, and I could see that. I mean, it's. I think it's really comes down to just a personal preference as to, and it's that whole engagement. If you're engaged, then you're not going to nitpick or notice things that might otherwise bug you. But if you're not engaged, you're probably going to look at it and be like, what's going on here? Why did they choose to do this? So I could definitely see from both sides of that.
Well, I, for one, was definitely not engaged.
You got engaged and then divorced right away.
I don't know what I don't know what to make of this movie.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at.
I think they tried to push that message of millennial versus baby boomer a bit. I think they're trying to push that a little bit too strong for a story that they're trying to tell, which is simply an old man who happens to have somewhat of a hate-love relationship with a millennial. And
it's more hate.
Well, no.
There is a bit of a love to that relationship.
Yeah, there is a bit of a attractiveness that he finds with her. It's just that his compulsiveness urges him to kill. He likes her because of what she is, and he hates her because of what she is, both at the same time.
Okay, I can see. I thought you were talking about millennials in general, but yeah, if it's specifically about her, then yes, I would agree with that.
Yeah, I think he eventually liked the cut of her jib. Like he kind of liked her personality.
Well, it was more of that he wants to hurt her, and no one else is going to hurt her. It was just going to be him.
Yeah, it's like if I can't have her, no one will, kind of deal, you know.
Okay, and I do agree with you. The millennial baby boomer thing was way too heavy-handed.
I think so.
That could have just been left to the,
leave it to the viewer to decide.
Yeah,
it was a little bit too strong. I think it overpowered the film a little bit too much.
See, I don't know. I think that if anything, it might have been a spin. I mean, what would you kind of call this movie? Fucking some motherfucker in a house trying to kill somebody in their house?
Well, I don't know.
Genre?
I think that's a bit of a long title, but I've heard long.
But I mean, God.
No, well, I'm just saying that I think the movie, they laid it on a little bit too thick. I shouldn't say a little bit too thick. They laid it on like frosting on cake thick. This was so strong that the characters just started, the characters themselves just started to drown in this like ocean of character that the genuine character of who these people really are doesn't shine through. You know what I mean? Like Robert Patrick's character, Harvey, they threw so much of the idea of him being a baby boomer onto him that his character never meshed well with the overflowingness of the baby boomer characterization. I don't know if this would make any sense.
I think I get what you're saying, MZ. So it was not as much about his personality, but about who he was, like about what he represented. Is that sort of what you're saying? Like his individualism didn't stick out?
Yeah, it's like, that's a good word. Yeah, I should have used that. His individualism is drowning in his character. And that hurts, and that really hurt this film.
So now, what I kind of took from it was, okay, we see him as being, the old fucking crotchety Petridge Farm guys. You know what I mean? But I think what can also happen when you're around somebody younger, whether it's, a family member or whatever the fuck, I saw a little bit of it rubbing off on him, where he kind of got his kind of groove back, whether it's down to even like hunting. And even when he went and got the outfit change.
Harvey got his groove back?
Harvey got his groove back, yeah. And even the swagger he got when he got that swanky new all-black outfit.
Oh, the cowboy outfit?
Yeah. And I think some of that it brought some of his youth back as he was being the hunter.
Mm.
And it kind of gave him like a new sense of purpose, where I think this fantasy that he had became something more than he ever could imagine.
That lasted very, very temporarily, though.
So
I kind of would want to see more of that swagger.
So if a baby boomer and a millennial had a baby, would it be a Generation X baby?
Yes. That'd be weird because one would have to go back.
So, yeah, there's a lot about this that I appreciated some of the stuff, and I didn't hate this movie, but I just don't feel it really said much. It was trying to say a lot, but I feel like a lot of it just didn't come through.
I think because they were trying too hard.
Yeah, I will say that I enjoyed the performance, especially I liked Amanda Cruz's performance in this. I thought she was good in this. I think she played the role perfectly. And, Robert Patrick was fine. He played it exactly the way he would play it. It's kind of funny, though. As I was watching the movie about halfway through, I was like, this movie would, probably be a lot better if Nicolas Cage played this character.
Oh. Well, what movie can't say that, right?
Well, sure. But it was the scene. Oh, man, what was it? What was he? He was destroying something in this, and it reminded me of that scene in Mom and Dad where he destroyed the.
Oh yeah. He was hitting the piano.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, with the hatchet or the tomahawk.
Yeah.
The tomahawk. Yeah.
So it remind me of that scene in Mom and Dad where Nicolas Cage was like destroying the pool table, and I was like, man,
what was he saying?
What was that?
What was the line of dialogue he was saying that really set him off?
Oh, and what in Mom and Dad?
Yeah.
You do the hokey pokey and you fucking turn it. Whatever it was, like something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like Robert Patrick's fine, but I think someone who maybe could be a little bit more batshit crazy might have sold it a little bit better, you know?
Yeah, that would have brought it to a different level of a movie.
Yeah.
I think because he was just very grim, very serious, so
a little too reserved.
If you had someone that could have been a little more over the top, it would have brought it to a different level.
Yeah, because I thought she was pretty over the top in a good way, you know, and I just feel like even though Robert Patrick was good, I just don't feel like it was matched. You know, it was, I think someone who's maybe a little bit crazier would probably have matched it better.
Oh, Cruz came across fine as an entitled brat. You know, I mean,
how so though?
Well, because she was so used to her life being the way it was, living out in the city, having a big apartment, and despite the fact that she decided to go to this place to have a weekend getaway, she's often commenting about the conditions, how the roads and everything like that. So she's kind of accustomed, she's accustomed to having, for lack of a better term, the better things in life.
I don't know, man. I mean, aside from complaining about free lunch Fridays or whatever the fuck, I don't think she came off as whiny at all.
But that was part of the whole thing that she's losing her job. Can't you just wait until we get past free food Friday?
Yeah.
That's all she was looking for out of that.
It was the material goods, the material things who were mattered. Yeah.
And she wasn't looking towards the future, her career, just the immediate.
She said, I'm entitled to that. I earned it.
I earned that.
Yeah.
She shut down what her boyfriend was cooking because she was saving up for that. Like, that was just the whole immediate gratification.
Yeah. There's your entitlement.
Yeah, but I think, all right, maybe. I mean, I don't know, as someone who's practiced his last day speech when that day comes, you want to make some demands.
Let's hear it.
I want to slow it down. That'll be some bonus content on that day. But no, I don't know. I don't. She didn't come across as douchey to me.
I don't think she necessarily came across as douchey, but she was the embodiment of what people perceive as a millennial,
Which is entitled.
I mean, she wasn't
instant gratification. Yeah.
She wasn't an over the top, like, stereotypical millennial, like that. Not even stereotypical, like that. Every bad thing about a millennial into one character. She wasn't that. She was just what an average entitlement person would be.
I don't know. I
She was.
I don't think so.
You're still trying to.
You don't even know what a millennial is, so.
So it's hard for you to understand this. No, it's hard for you to understand this.
Someone who's 38 is not a fucking millennial.
Yes, they are.
We're not getting over it. We're not doing this again. Okay. They are. Shut up.
That's dumb. That's stupid.
You know what? Universities are arguing this point, like dates. So go to a fucking university and argue with them.
Yeah, right.
God. Can you imagine him speaking at a university?
I'm just trying to get him out of here.
Hello, university?
They wouldn't let him.
We'll just go.
They wouldn't let him within 5 miles of a university.
Listen, I've been on campus before.
He wouldn't even get into the University of Phoenix.
He wouldn't even get
after hours.
He wouldn't even get into Trump University.
Yeah, Trump you. I don't know, man. She was not like some fucking obnoxious hot topic dweller or some fucking weird.
What? Hot topic
dweller?
Yeah.
What does that have?
You don't even know what a millennial
is. Where kids go?
But she's not a kid.
Thank you.
She's a millennial.
Christ. Aries is gonna.
I'm not going through this
Aries,
again.
Punch him.
Millennials have aged out of being kids.
Aries, please.
Like a
hurt him.
19-year-old is not a millennial.
Well, what are they called?
They're the next generation. Whatever the fuck
Well,
they
it's
want to call
Probably,
themselves.
probably Generation Z. They'll
Star,
probably be
Star Trek: The Next Generation. They're Generation Z.
I thought we already had Z after X.
No.
Y comes after X.
Y comes after
Oh
X.
my god!
You don't even know the goddamn alphabet?
He's counting.
I am a fucking miracle.
Why don't you take down your pants so you can get an extra thing to count on? Where's your abacus?
Yeah. A lot of balls down there.
You know, and then we go back to, you know, things getting crazy, and they try getting in touch with she tries to get in touch with her mother, played by Kim Delaney, and I don't know what her story is. It's like the whole relationship that she has with, what's his name, Urias? Is that his name? Uriah?
Something like that.
Fuck boy.
Yeah, it was Uriah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
well, that was a new relationship. Like, we saw the entirety of that relationship.
Yeah, it was a little silly.
It was kind of thrown in there for really no reason at all whatsoever.
Now that part took me out. I think that got a little bit too.
Well, I think it was just showing that she's more.
She's a free spirit.
She's a free spirit and more open to different things, and she's open to having a relationship with a millennial, to juxtapose Harvey's character. You know, Harvey.
Right, that kid was a millennial.
Yeah,
that kid. He was probably the same age as she was.
The daughter?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I don't think.
Yeah, Uriah.
Jesus Christ. Rafe Shadow's the
Why?
authority on millennials.
Why don't you think so?
He's younger.
Why?
He just looks younger.
Thank you.
Jesus.
I'm going to find out what his age is.
All right, good.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything.
What's his shoe size?
In the movie, that kid was roughly the same age as the daughter.
I think you guys are just old.
You're not going to believe this. He is older than her.
He's a good fucking actor.
He's 38.
Oh yeah, he acted younger, so he looks younger.
Yeah.
Well, I thought he was younger too, but he's actually 38.
Holy crap! He's just
so
he's barely a millennial.
He is a millennial.
He is.
He's a millennial. He barely registers as a millennial though.
I said the same thing. And you yelled at me and called me a motherfucker
because he was born in 1981. So he's barely he barely makes it as a millennial.
And actually, on some lists, he wouldn't be a millennial. Oh no, in every list, he would be a millennial.
Oh, shit, not my list.
Your list doesn't matter.
Not the Raven list.
Go check your pipe.
I am concerned about my pipe.
And
as soon as you guys leave.
All right, now the acid trip that she takes. Now, you kind of dug on that, huh, Johnny?
I did, yeah. I thought it was a good scene. I thought it was well filmed, and I thought some of the topics that were broached and some of the emotion that they were sort of covering, I thought was good, and I think it fleshed out her character a little bit more. And also, I mean, obviously, I like Ray Wise, so I also really enjoyed that because of him. But I just thought it was well shot, and I thought that it added some more complexity to the character.
Okay, so some of the conversation between the ex-boyfriends, I like that, how she had her rogues gallery.
Yeah.
Kind of pop up. So some of those things I could see. It was millennial.
It was shot nice using a multicolored medium close up. You know, it kind of gave off the effect of probably an acid trip. I don't know, Raven Shadow. What do you think?
I never took acid. Oh god. Yeah, no, it wasn't.
It wasn't. That's your definition of medium close up. What the fuck is close up to you?
Close up is
that was a close up to me.
That was medium close up.
Wow. Okay. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed that. I thought that was shot very well. I love the lighting of that, and just it really hashed out the character a lot.
Yeah, and I think I would have preferred some more of that. Maybe not of that specific thing, but you know, like if we got some more moments where it fleshed out all of it a little bit more, and maybe that could be achieved by focusing more on her as opposed to Harvey as well. So I don't know. Maybe I just feel. It reminded me a little bit, and just because this is still fresh in my head, but in Satanic Panic, there was that scene where do you guys remember where she was writing on the other girl to kind of like block the spell that they were putting on her?
Oh,
and she was
yeah.
talking about her boyfriend, you know, and going through cancer treatment and stuff like that. Like, I just thought that was a really cool scene, and it made me actually feel closer to that character. And I feel that this is similar, but it happened like a little bit too late to really have more of an impact. So it would have been nice to maybe pepper that throughout a little bit more. But yeah, I mean, maybe they only had Ray Wise for one day. Maybe that's all they got. So I don't know. There could be other reasons.
I don't know. I think the more that we're talking about this film, the more I can probably appreciate that flash, the acid trip scene, maybe just a little bit more, as opposed to the rest of the film.
Yep.
Because the more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm talking about it, the more I'm thinking that just possibly that acid trip sequence might be better than the rest of the film. When at first I thought it might have been just on the same level.
Wow, that's like just a 180. You went from hating that to loving that.
Yeah. Well, the more we're talking about it, the more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm replaying that scene in my head, the more I'm thinking, you know, maybe I judged too quickly on it, and I'm thinking maybe it's not terrible. I don't know. I don't know. It's just the attitudes, man. Maybe I'm just getting old. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I'm just tired of all the you know, the brazen attitudes, the don't fuck with me attitude. I'm gonna, you know, take you down attitude. You know, I mean, maybe I'm just getting tired of that.
You don't think every generation has that attitude? That's not something that was invented in 1981.
No, I know. But what I'm saying is, I think it just, I'm tired of seeing it in film. Probably, I'm tired of people having this, you know, take no bullshit attitude.
Well,
which I mean, I'm all for, you know, in, you know, defending yourself and stuff like that, but in a way that it's done with smart ass remarks, with
So Jack Burton, Ash Williams never fucking had smart remarks or
those are films that made over 30 years ago.
Okay.
There's a difference.
What transpired in this room as we were mounting this camera? Just four jackasses making smart ass remarks at each other as we're trying to mount this fucking camera. That is real world. Just people making smart ass remarks to their friends.
Okay, all right, but this is written word. This is
on film.
It's supposed to convey, you know, a real life situation. You know.
Well, sure, any film can do that. Any film does that. You could cover your eyes all you want, Aries.
I'm sorry. Are you really gonna shit on this movie because they portrayed something real world?
I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't know.
It is just you.
Yeah.
There's no maybe involved here.
All right. I don't know. In the end, more I think about it, this scene was probably better than the rest. It's probably the best scene in the film.
Do you want some rice pudding and to go to bed before 7:00?
I would like to go to bed before 7:00.
Okay.
Rice pudding, you can stick that up your ass.
Some Werther's originals.
I don't know what you're into, but leave us out of it.
Okay.
We haven't brought this up yet, and it seemed like it's kind of like a throwaway thing, but there was that whole. I guess I'll just say the spider scene.
Oh! You mean Chekhov's contact lens case?
Yeah.
Let's ask the blind motherfucker in the room. Could she have seen that spider? Like,
I never wore contact. Yeah.
Well, I think she could have felt it. That's a thing that. Like it's a cool idea, like, and I was like, oh, like, okay, that I could see that, but it just was like, I mean, you know what a fucking contact feels like, right? Like,
yeah.
There's no way you're mistaking a contact for a spider. So it was an interesting scene, and I get what they were going for, and I applaud it because it was something kind of different, but. It just was like, come on, you know, like it was just one of those things.
You're blind. You didn't lose your sense of touch.
It kind of took me out of it a little bit, but
was it a CGI spider or was it real?
Oh, I don't know.
At
least when
I think the one when he collected it was real,
Yeah,
but the
I
one
agree.
that's on our face,
Yeah.
I'm sure that was CGI.
yeah, I would agree.
But I
with
thought
that.
I thought there were some kind of couple of good gore scenes. There was one, the foot scene, definitely.
I didn't like that. That
Really?
yeah, it was failed build up to that. I don't know. There was it didn't like they were trying to build something and it just failed.
Interesting.
There was no tension involved in that.
Yeah, I thought it was just okay as well. I thought the whole climax just didn't really do much for me, and I'd say probably one of my favorite lines in it though was, and actually now that I think about it, it's kind of really cheesy, but it felt good when she's like fucking baby boomers, like.
Oh yeah, that was ugh.
Because
God.
I mean that's what a lot of millennials think. That's why and the funny thing is since I moved down here to Maryland, there, especially at the gym, there's a lot of boomers who you can tell them right away. They have their fucking socks pulled up high. They're wearing their like old school like Nike or like sneakers and like short shorts and like and
It's hanging out.
and they're trying to explain like how to do things even though they have no fucking idea, because they know everything. So, like they can be, the typical baby boomer can be annoying as fuck, So I thought that line was indicative of how she feels about that generation. So the timing might have been a little weird, but it did sort of make me chuckle a little bit because that was, I'm sure a lot of millennials have said that at one point in their lives.
See, I don't know, man. That kind of took me out of it because I think that was kind of his thing, that generational thing where I don't know necessarily. I mean, I guess he probably said some lines, right? He made some comments probably during their fracasing.
Yeah.
Did he make any comments about her age?
I don't remember during the fight.
I don't think so.
Because it's weird. I mean, I've the time I've ever used the term baby boom or baby boomers, I can probably count on my hand. And one might have been talking about the fucking Diane Keaton film from a couple of years ago, later on a TV show. Like, I don't use that term. I don't know. I guess maybe for me, it'd be old people or our parents. I might use. I know we have a friend, Johnny, a mutual friend that name rhymes with Music Quest Bob, that is out of his fucking mind with the baby boomer generation. But like, I don't know if once again, I might speak for somebody who's 38, not on the younger side, but I don't know. That seemed a little bit forced to me.
That seemed more of a line that more fit into a movie than into the real world, where it was just a more of a, a Schwarzenegger, cool off type line.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Yeah, that was 100% movie line.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I feel it was 100% appropriate where it was. I didn't hate that line. It wouldn't have taken away from the movie if the line wasn't there. It was just a fucking line.
I heard that and I gave an eye roll like you read about. I couldn't believe it.
I've never read about an eye roll before.
Well,
oh, it was that giant size eye roll number one. It was a good issue.
Giant size eye roll.
Yes, you should look at the centerfold. That was. I just give me a fucking break. Really, they really had to go there.
Those fucking millennials.
Because this whole movie kind of went there until 2 minutes left in the movie or 1 minute left in the movie, and they went there, and I'm like, give me a break. I mean, I don't think too highly of this movie, but I thought of it a whole lot less after that.
But I mean, that is just one more example of the heavy-handedness of the millennial baby boomer thing.
No, I agree. Which, as I've said before, kind of ruins this film a little bit.
If that had been the only thing in this movie, if that was just the cherry on the whole, the implied battle, that would have been perfect. But the fact that it was so heavy-handed, and then this on top of it, That's why it was just another line. I didn't have a problem with it in the context of this movie, but if it wasn't there, it wouldn't have taken away anything.
I can understand why people would find it funny, and I can understand why people would find it, slightly entertaining. I just didn't.
What?
I just didn't.
What? I don't think it's. I don't know.
I heard noise.
Yeah, until you stared at me.
Well, I thought you made a noise.
So
I got to point out. I just want to point out one line.
Yeah, go for it.
Evil Coney says Wolfie is working out in an Olds gym.
Olds gym. Very funny.
Not a Gold's gym.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, we get the joke. We got the joke. All right. Evil Corny also said the $5 car wash is my favorite scene in this film. That was pretty funny.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I thought that would have been better served the other way around, where it was the old guy didn't understand that.
Yeah.
What it was.
What kind of drugs?
Well, no, I mean that okay, yeah, that aspect was funny, but it was just the fact that she didn't understand like where she was pulling up to. Like,
Oh, right.
Yeah, no, I thought that was pretty good. All right, well, I want to start to wind this down. Do you guys have anything else you wanted to mention about this before we head to the verdict?
I thought one thing I didn't. One thing. One of the things that really took me out of this movie is they could have been a little more subtle with him in the background.
Yeah,
there was a lot of.
I agree with that.
There was not a lot. It was a handful of times where he was just in the background, where it could have just been like a. Did I just see that moment? But instead, they chose to have the bum music, and it's just like, fuck, like that didn't need to be that. Like that should have been subtle. Let the viewer go. Did that just happen? Like there isn't enough of that in movies, and I don't know why.
Oh yeah, the stinger music.
Yeah. Oh, that there's too much of. But the whole subtleness of someone in the background, where it's just like either only there for a second or there, and all of a sudden, 5 minutes after, you're like, wait a second, there's a motherfucker standing back there.
Yeah, right.
They missed opportunities in this movie, which could have added a lot to this.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, I thought that was kind of silly. He's just sort of like wandering around, and like she has no fucking clue. Like, and he was like, even like when he was wiping up the was it the bathroom or whatever? Like,
oh yeah, she left the trail of water out of the shower.
Yeah, like how does she not know he's fucking there? Like I just thought that was a little silly. Yeah,
well,
like she's going through her luggage and that's sitting on the bed, and he's at the doorway that's just across from her. Doesn't even see her. Never mind the fact that she wears glasses, or maybe she had her contacts out. If she even just seen someone, just a figure there, she would be freaking out. And she never even saw it. It's like,
well, I think that's supposed to show you how large this house is.
Yeah.
The fact that she rented this gigantic house where it's someone could move around move around in there and not even be seen or heard.
And the other thing that kind of bugged me, and I don't know if this is, I don't know how you guys feel about it. I felt it was kind of silly, yet real, but still silly, where she would be in the foreground, doing whatever in front of the camera, and you see Harvey like walking behind her. She's completely oblivious to the fact that he's behind her, but it would look like he's like tiptoeing, but not really tiptoeing. Yeah. It's kind of like he's got some sort of weird walk in his, weird stride in his walk, but I couldn't tell if it was that or if he's tiptoeing or I don't know what the hell it was, but it just while it would appear real in a real world setting, in a movie, it just comes across as looking rather clumsy.
Well, and maybe part of it is that's just to kind of show that she's aloof and kind of is unaware of her surroundings and what's going on. I could see that, I guess.
Yeah, but that shouldn't matter. I mean, it matters in how he is walking as opposed to whether she knows he's back there. He's
to kind of show that she's.
He's walking in a weird, bizarro world sort of way.
Yeah.
Where I can't tell if he's walking or tiptoeing or a combination of both. It just looks odd to me.
Well, I think it's him. It's an old man trying to be quiet.
Yeah.
No, okay, no, I understand that, but in the real world, I understand how that would work, but it doesn't read well on film. But that's my nitpick on that.
All right, let's go to the verdict.
Trick or treat, baby. I wonder if people would say you're a trick or a treat.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
All right, it is verdict time. We're going to let you know whether Tone Deaf was a trick or treat and any final thoughts we may have. Let's start with MZ.
Oh, it would start with me. Okay. Yeah, I think this movie could have been a little bit better. I wasn't a big fan. I guess the performances were okay. Robert Patrick's he's they laid on the millennial versus baby boomer thing a little bit too thick for me for their individual personalities to come out. And I think that's a shame. This movie just didn't sit right with me from like the very first frame. There was something about it that I just did not dig. I thought it was somewhat boring at times. I never found it to be funny or scary or even really all that entertaining. I think the soundtrack sucked. I think the score sucked. Geez, I mean, I think the only halfway decent performance you could get out of this is from Ray Wise, and you can always count on him because he's cool.
Baby boomer.
Hey, he's one of the cool baby boomers, baby.
He no millennial.
So, this was tough for me to sit through. Wow. I really had a hard time with it. And Amanda Cruz, I thought. I mean, she was okay, but I don't know. I just didn't. I just felt this went through the paces, and really showed me nothing. This is a trick.
All right, Aries.
Yeah, I mean, this movie, it definitely had its problems. It was a little heavy-handed with the millennial versus baby boomer. It didn't pick a side, which it probably should have. Probably should have picked millennial because that was probably more their target audience.
Right.
They weren't going to get any. They weren't going to gain any viewers by showing the baby boomer aspect of this. And there was missed opportunities, story wise, as far as what they could have done with it. There was no problem with the acting. Everyone acted was fine. So I feel all the problems were probably with the directing and the story aspect of it. There were some decent parts of this, so it wasn't completely awful. This is one of those movies I hate to actually, because we only have a good bad rating. It teeters on both of those, so it's being that it is only, I think it was 88 minutes, so 87. It is 87. Yeah. Mr. Runtime.
Yeah, I
Ray
think I could be wrong.
Counted every single one the second time.
Yeah, you better fucking believe it. Well, I had to see it twice, Johnny. Okay,
Mr. Runtime didn't have a problem with an 80-minute movie last week, though.
But being that it is a short watch, and there are some decent aspects about this, you know what? If you got a free minute, check it out. So it is almost kind of a little bit treat.
Free 87 minutes.
87. Oh yeah, so definitely, yeah. You know what? MZ could watch this in the toilet.
I could.
And then watch it again.
Yeah. He could watch it during his lunch break.
I Spit on Your Grave Deja Vu on the toilet.
He'd watch this during his lunch
legs
break.
Legs would fall asleep.
All right, Raven Shadow.
All right, well, I'll disagree with Monster Zero. I feel the soundtrack was awesome. The Vagina song was pretty great.
Oh, that was stupid. I did like the line. My vag looks like Tony Danza.
That was the dig.
Yeah,
that was like, it was her vag was good, and then your vag was like Tony Danza. That's my jam. That's my new ringtone. The badge song.
Jamming on the Danza.
Jamming on the veg. But no, listen, is this movie going to make my top 13? Probably not. But I did enjoy it. And
wait a second. Probably not.
Probably not.
Really? There's a chance? Like, are we waiting to see what else is coming out along the pipeline?
Well,
all right,
wait till he whips out his Post-it note.
Whoa. All right, spoiler, it's not making my top 13. Sorry, Aries, a fucking ruin a fucking. Tim just showed up from Australia. Now he's fucking surprised. But so this movie, while this movie is not making my top 13, I did enjoy it. I like Robert Patrick at T1000. You know, it makes me smile.
He did do other things.
Yeah, well, this is what he's doing now. You know, but it was fine. I think you guys are completely off base by your theories of what a millennial is. I think some of your
it's not our theory.
I think it is, but
it's,
you know,
it isn't.
It's the accepted social like like theory. That's the theory that's out there. It's not ours.
Yeah, I mean, it's no relativity, but I mean, it's a theory. That's fine. But I'm also so much younger than you guys on the show, so I think that I'm more in touch.
E equals DA squared. DA stands for dumbass.
Nevertheless, perfect fucking runtime. Perfect runtime. Yeah, no, it ain't fucking Casablanca, gang, but it was fun. Get your Patrick on. It's a treat.
All right. So this, for me, I think is an interesting idea and one that is difficult to pull off correctly. I generally like the concept behind it, but ultimately this just ends up being kind of dull. Like, what happens? That's interesting. Like, it's just kind of dull. I enjoyed the performances and there were some good scenes, but ultimately I think that just falls short of the mark. And it just, I don't know, it just was okay. You know, like, that to me is a bigger sin than trying and failing and, you know, trying something drastic and failing. Like, this is just an okay middling movie. And so because of that, like, I feel like it had a little bit more, it should have been more than this. It was an interesting idea. It just wasn't pulled off and it ended up being dull. So for me, I'm just going to go with barely a trick for this one. So that is our discussion of Tone Deaf. If you guys have seen it or see it after the fact and want to give us your thoughts, go ahead, send a voicemail or an email to podcast@trickortreatradio.com. Next week, I'm looking forward to this one. This is one of my most anticipated movies. You guys are probably going to hate me, especially Mr. Runtime.
Is it from Korea?
Yes.
Yep. All right. 6-hour fucking movie.
No
Tony Starks.
No Tony Starks in this. It's much shorter than Avengers Endgame, though. I'll tell you that much. It is 2 hours and 12 minutes. That's it. What? That's like every fucking superhero movie is like 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Yeah, but he's not watching this motherfucker. He's not going to watch it. This will be on when we show up here next week.
Listen, a lot of things are going on when you show up here.
You better watch it. You have a week and 2 days.
All right. That's more days, right?
It's more days, yeah. So we're going to be talking about the film. Actually, it comes out it's getting a theatrical release in a few days. And on the 11th, so Friday the 11th, the beginning of Rock and Shock, Friday, October 11th, it gets a limited theatrical release. And that is the latest film from Bong Joon-ho called Parasite. Now, you guys remember Bong Joon-ho because we've done a couple, we did Snowpiercer. He's the director of Snowpiercer. Yeah. And he is also the director of The Host, which we didn't do for the show, but is a very awesome movie.
Yep.
Right, MZ?
I agree.
Yes. So we are going to do the latest film from Bong Joon-ho, and it's called Parasite, and it stars one of the best Korean actors, I think, Song Kang-ho, who we've seen in a bunch of stuff, but he was in The Foul King. He played the Foul King, if you guys remember that.
Yeah.
He was also in The Host. He was also the main character in The Host. He was also in Snowpiercer. He's been in a lot of shit. He was in The Age of Shadows. He was Lee Jung-chul in The Age of Shadows. So we've seen him in a lot of stuff, and he's a really awesome actor. So really looking forward to this one. It is this the first Korean movie we've done this year? I think it might be.
In a while, at least.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. So, Parasite, it like I said, it comes out on the 11th of October, limited theatrical release. I believe it may even be available for DVD or Blu-ray in Korea. So, I guess it's possible. I think you can actually. Let me double check that. Actually, I think you may be able to buy if you have an all regions player. So, but yeah, we're going to talk about that. Looking forward to that discussion. And yeah, I don't know. I don't see it listed here. Just doing a quick search. So you probably have to go check it in theaters or just wait. So Parasite next week. Now though, I want to start to wrap things up because we have Rock and Shock. I gotta get all my stuff ready and pack and all that. So we'll jump right into voice messages, and then we'll just wrap things up. So let's kick things off with, let me see. So we got a few from Pabst. So let's start with Pabst. Let's see what he has to say.
Hello, Trick or Treat Radio. How's it going, guys? It's Paps. Just
buddy?
calling in this week. So I have been doing my 31 days of Halloween, and I want to give you guys a little bit of an update on what I've been watching so far. So, because Rebecca and I are super impatient, we started out with number 0 on the last day of September with Secrets of the Hot Spring, and I actually really, really enjoyed this one. It was a hilarious, I want to say Taiwanese horror comedy. A lot heavier on the comedy side than the horror, but still really, really enjoyable, really well made, and just all around great. Next, after that, I had Cabin Fever for night 1, and I kind of loved and hated Cabin Fever. It was entertaining in that it was absolutely ridiculous, but it was also kind of fucking terrible. I think maybe I waited a little bit too long to see this one because this was my first time watch on that one. I'm kind of lukewarm on Eli Roth to begin with, but it was silly, ridiculous, but it was also fucking terrible sometimes. So yeah, it was all right. Number 2, I had Stephen King's Cat's Eye, great anthology film. Love those 3 segments. I love that a cat is kind of a major character in all of them. Being a cat lover myself. I definitely enjoyed that one. That was a definite treat. Number 3, watched The Witches, movie based off the Roald Dahl book with Angelica Houston, who is just the fucking best. Going back and watching that, the creature effects and stuff in that movie are actually really awesome, especially for their time. Definite a treat on that one. Number 4, watched Ravenous. Just the fucking score for that movie, which is done by, what's his name? Damon Albarn, the guy who does the gorillas in Blur. It's just so out of place and so much in that movie, and it's so jarring, but it's great. I really dig that movie. Number 5, so on Saturday I did a little bit of a double feature with some friends, and we did a gross out double feature of, first up we had The Greasy Strangler, which I fucking love that movie. It's just so gross, so terribly awful. Not in in a way of being poorly made or anything. I think it's great. It's just disgusting. And my friends were pretty appalled by that. Rebecca, when she had watched it with me, only watched the first 10 or 20 minutes. So she was not expecting some of the stuff that happens in that. But it was.
Oh, that's the end of part 1. Let's go to part 2.
All right, guys, I'll try and make the rest of this brief. So yeah, so Greasy Strangler, fucking great. My friends were a little disgusted by me afterwards, but whatever. All right, after that, we paired Greasy Strangler with Meet the Feebles, one of my favorite old Peter Jackson movies. You know, what else can you say about that movie? But Lucy, fucking great, loved it. Awful, disgusting, but fantastic. All right, after that, number 7 did One Cut of the Dead, which I'm not 100% sure where this movie was made. I want to say Japan. I don't want to talk a whole ton about this movie, just in case any of you guys see it. But do not go into this movie expecting just a straightforward horror. Definitely a lot more to it. And then finally, last night, I did Late Phases, which is honestly one of my favorite werewolf movies that I've seen in a very, very, very long time. Very original take. Don't think I've ever seen a movie like that before. Just like focusing on like you're kind of like elderly, blind father. It was awesome. I loved it. Still up for debate about what we're watching tonight, but I'm hoping that I can finish it in time to check into the chat room a little bit tonight. I'm looking forward to listening, and peace.
That was Ravenchild's boy Ambrose in Late Phases. That's a pretty good selection, MZ. What do you think?
I'm envious. I wish my 31 days could be as exciting as that.
Why isn't yours as exciting?
I don't know.
You don't have enough time to watch movies?
No, I do. I actually have a 31. I have a 31 days of Halloween going on right now.
Yeah. So why isn't yours as exciting?
I don't know.
Why don't you make it more exciting?
Well, I thought it was exciting until I heard his.
It's all on you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's whatever you pick.
Yeah, you're the one programming it.
Well, today I played the Blair Witch Project.
Okay. How many times have you seen that?
I don't know, about 40 times maybe.
Why don't you pick movie you haven't seen?
You know what?
Why don't you break the norm and do sitcom Halloween episodes?
You know what El Goro does? He watches, for his 31 days of Halloween, he watches movies he's never seen before, horror movies he's never seen. Every single year he does it.
And that could be that could end up very disappointingly.
Sure, of course it could.
For a grand portion of that month.
Yeah,
I mean, you might come across a diamond or two. You never know. But
you're like a baby boomer. You just set in your ways and watch the same shit over and over.
I like what I watch.
No, you don't, because you watched Deja Vu there.
I never saw it, and look what happened. I hated it.
Ravenchild, what'd you think of Pap's question to you?
Oh, it was awesome. This big. If you're watching the live feed.
Wow, your hemorrhoids are that big?
His anal flap?
Yeah. That's the wrong gimmick.
He farts, he'll be airborne.
No, it's exciting. But no, I like Paps a lot, and he should friend me on Facebook.
Why don't you friend him?
Because I get anxiety about that. I get scared of rejection. It's like
he's not going to reject you.
Well, I don't know. Actually, I was nervous. I finally got Second Rusty recently accepted my friend request. Jason Lively.
Yeah.
And I posted it to him probably like a few months ago.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh man,
he had to check you out.
Yeah, I got background checked by Second Rusty. It's fucking weird. I was very excited, so I liked one of his photos that he posted. And to be fair, I'm not bullshitting. He is my favorite Rusty of all of them. Even better than.
Well, it's not hard to do, really. I mean,
I don't know, dude. Not for nothing. I'm gonna say this for those in the back.
All right.
Much like. You gonna shut me off?
No, go ahead.
You were.
I forgot who the first Rusty was.
Yeah, right. But what I was going to say was, there's never been a bad cinematic or television version of Alfred or Commissioner Gordon. Anytime cinematically, they've been great versions. So where I'm going with the Aries, before you get confused like an old millennial, old big boom.
Oh yeah, because you went from Vacation to Batman. Why would I be confused?
And I'm going back to Vacation with Anthony Michael Hall, Jason Lively, and also the fucking Big Bang Theory and Suicide Kings was a Rusty.
Johnny Galecki
was a Rusty.
He was a Rusty.
And to shoot a hole in your, there's no bad Rusty. Have you seen Vegas Vacation?
All right. And you know what? My mind did briefly go there, but Vegas Vacation doesn't count.
Why doesn't it count?
Yeah.
It's a vacation.
All right. Well, listen, I've been on a lot of fucking vacations. I'll tell you right now, a lot of them don't fucking count because your boy didn't fucking vacate at all.
Whoa. Rusty in Vegas Vacation is your boy, Ethan Embry from Can't Hardly Wait.
Yeah.
Thank you, Johnny. There's been so many good Rusties. He was fucking great, too.
He was fucking awful. Have you seen the goddamn movie?
You watched
you
the
were all
movie?
aboard until he fucking reminded you who he actually was.
Well, thank you, because I forgot what I remembered. And
Oh my God. Are you for real right now?
My head hurts.
I'll be even more real at Rocket Shock. So Tim from from Australia, get Tim from Korea, and you have a fucking all the Tims will be there. Speaking of which, I don't know any bad Tims.
Yeah, you do.
All right. Well, that could be fair. But no, I want to say big ups to Jason Lively is what I'm trying to say.
So he's the best, even above
He's
your
the best.
boy from Can't Hardly Wait.
It's true because I think he embraced the most of the Griswold has to offer.
Shut up.
And he was older, and he made out with that hot chick from Chicago.
Shut up. Just shut up.
John. and we met him, not really met him, but after
No, we hung out
after
with him.
Ernie Hudson
Yeah.
cock blocked our table.
Yeah, we hung out with him for a bit.
He did hang out. He joined that circle. And he wanted to go back to that restaurant that we got shut out of.
Was it Circle Jerk?
Yeah. The hotel pub.
Oh man.
So thank you, Pabst and Jason Lively.
All right, next voicemail.
Yes, the next one is from Paps. He had one quick follow-up.
Okay, I swear this is the last one, but I just want to say, so I have a wedding this weekend on Saturday. Friday is Rebecca's birthday, but barring any unforeseen circumstances, we will see you guys on Sunday at Rock and Shock this weekend. Looking forward to seeing you guys. Looking forward to hanging out for a bit. Also looking forward to the live show before the Chin himself. All right, that's it. All right, have a good one, guys. Bye.
Awesome. So we might get to see Paps this weekend. Maybe you can send him a friend request in real life, Raven Shadow.
No, I can't. Don't tell him. But
Well, I think he's going to listen to this.
Well, it'll be on my. I'll be thinking about it. And I get anxiety. It's like when you start school, you get to worry about lunchtime. Lunchtimes concern me
because no one sat with you.
No. I did. They did, but I always that fear. It's like because it was like fucking prison. You had different blocks. A lunch, B lunch, C lunch, and you never know when people are gonna.
They asked him if he wanted a burger or fries and pizza and spaghetti.
Did you guys know that pizza is considered a vegetable in school lunch?
Got tomatoes.
Yeah, it's considered a vegetable. Yep.
Veggie pizza?
No, just pizza is
regular
considered
pizza.
a vegetable.
Well, what's bread considered?
Bread?
The grain.
Okay, well then pizza should be a grain then. Right?
It has 3 of the 4 major food groups.
Which one is grain?
The crust, you nitwit.
No, motherfucker, the fucking dough. The dough.
Which is the
grain.
crust.
Yes.
Johnny, isn't that what I'm saying?
Oh,
I don't know what you're. What were you saying?
Who brought this up? Who brought this up?
I did.
Johnny, I'm gonna fucking whale you with this goddamn mallet.
I don't believe you.
Oh, I'm taking it with me.
Oh shit.
If I can't,
I would
I'll
love
find
to see you
one.
try.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
so would
shit.
I. We're bringing both mallets. You guys are having a mallet
You
fight.
can dual.
Bring me content.
No, he can have both. He can dual wield them, and it still won't matter.
Oh shit.
dual wielding mallets.
Yeah, Johnny's gonna have fucking like banana rings or some shit.
Banana rings.
Yeah.
All right, we got one more voicemail, and that would be from First Time Mike.
What's up, Trick or Treat family? Wow, good thing I caught the Facebook today, because on vacation once again, and I was like, well, I'll have time to do some fun Halloween stuff for Trick or Treat Radio, and I look on Facebook, and you guys are live tonight. Holy crap. Well, I just gotta say, I could not go enjoy my vacation without telling you guys all have a great Rock and Shock. Everybody who's able to attend and meet with you guys, one of these years I'm gonna get there. I love the party with you guys, but as always, I'm there with you in spirit, and I wish you all the best, and enjoy all the cornucopia of horror and rock that you guys always talk about, and it looks like so much fun, and I wish I could be there, but alas, I cannot. Also, I would like to put in a vote for Ali as the spokespup of the Trick or Treat Radio and Major Domo of the Raven Chateau. Wow. This is first time Mike, wishing you all the best, and good night. Bye.
I did I miss something? What was it?
You said Ali.
Ali?
Ollie.
Oh, Ollie. Oh, okay.
Oh.
Thought he was talking about Muhammad Ali.
That's what I was
he's Muhammad Ali. He's the fucking
Muhammad Ali.
Muhammad Ali, yeah. He's the greatest Bijan in the world.
I'm gonna eat food and poop in your shoes. I'm gonna know what to do.
Turn off the light, go in his mouth before he went to the bed.
Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Well,
tell you
no,
right now.
it's float like a butterfly, sting like a Bijan.
Oh. There you go. I'll tell you right now.
I'm gonna
first
get some
time
daps. I'm gonna get some daps from Ollie after that one.
Oh, you got it? Yeah. Oh, you guys will be hanging out. He'll fucking dig you the most. But I'll tell you right now, first time Mike is on vacation more than Jason Lively. This dude is
Jason
all over
Lively
the
was only on vacation once.
Oh, shit. He takes more vacations than Rusty.
Yeah, exactly.
That's good. But no, yeah, you seriously, man. You gotta fucking leave Milwaukee. You gotta come up here one year, dude.
Yeah, make that happen. First time, Mike. Would love to hang out with you, buddy.
Yeah.
One of these years. But always a pleasure to hear from you, and we appreciate the well wishes, and we know that you'll definitely be there with us in spirit. So thank you, my friend. All right. Well, we didn't get any additional entries for the Patreon film commentary, so it's all on us. We did get one on the Fib earlier, and let me just pull it up. And it was for Police Academy. That's I assume Police Academy 2. So as Donnie Davis says, I really hope you do a commentary on a Police Academy movie. So he put his vote in for Police Academy. So what do you guys think? What you can just, do you guys think we should do something that's like out of left field, something we wouldn't normally do on the show? Do you think we should do a movie we've already done, or a movie that we would never do? What do you guys think?
Showgirls.
Now that came out of left field.
I spit on your grave, deja vu.
Oh boy, no.
Oh Jesus.
Then dear God, no.
Oh, God, no.
I mean, I don't know if we're talking about things that, like, movies that we, loved as kids and still quote this day. I can't think the upper echelon of that. I would think would be Police Academy 2 and Weird Science,
or Johnny Dangerously.
That's pretty fucking good too.
Yeah.
I like the idea of doing something different. And I kind of really want to watch Police Academy 2 with you guys.
Not for nothing. Just to watch it with us.
Yeah.
Would be fun.
Because that's never happened. Of all the flicks that we watched, I don't think that we've all been in the same room when that was going on.
I've never watched a Police Academy movie with anyone.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
They've always just been like my own guilty pleasure type of thing.
And there's nothing guilty about it.
No, I mean, I
love those fucking
movies.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, I say that term, but I have no guilt about loving the movies.
And I'll tell you right now, I was watching one the other day. And that, the denouement when they're having all the fucking, this is French for the riot, that Fackler cost. I mean, there was some drama there,
Well,
when they
sure.
shoot little piggy
Drama.
wigglies, and then even with the gangs looting. I mean, there was some 1 and 2 are 1 through 4 are fucking brilliant.
They are. 5 and 6 are good too. 7 is just bad. It's just awful.
Which was Miami Beach? Is that 5?
5 is Assignment Miami Beach.
All right, 1 through 4 is brilliant, and 5 is pretty fucking awesome.
5 is pretty good. 6 is okay. 7 is just terrible.
So
that's not Mission to Moscow.
So my two choices, or the ones that keep coming up that we mention, would be Police Academy 2 and Weird Science as well.
Yeah.
And the other one, I guess, technically, we do owe a commentary of editor. So that's, but we probably
for Nick, right?
Yeah, from years ago, and I don't mean to throw him under the bus, but Mars wanted to plan something for it, and it just never happened. So, but
something awesome, but that just never panned out.
Yeah. So, I guess we could put in our votes. I mean, maybe Aries had said Johnny Dangerously. We've heard Police Academy 2. We've heard Weird Science. You guys have any others to toss in the ring, and then we'll do a quick vote.
Oh, well, Corny chimed in with Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Oh,
all right,
that's a good choice.
It's not a bad one.
All
I
right,
do
so,
love
yeah.
that movie. I think, and for me, I think the first one we do should be one that we've been talking about. That's nothing against that suggestion or that movie, because I love it. But I think that's why I keep coming back to Weird Science and Police Academy 2.
Yeah. Which I think those might be the 2 other posters I want to get at Rock and Shock this year.
So I don't know how. I mean, we don't need to do a silent vote, but what? Just go ahead. I guess we'll go around. You guys can mention which one you want to do most.
I say I would love to. Well, all of them are really good. But I'm dying to see Police Academy 2 with you guys.
All right.
I you know what? Yeah, Police Academy 2.
I think Police Academy Dose.
All right. Well, it doesn't matter what I say. So, and it's between those. So, let's go with it. Police Academy 2.
It's so stupid that we're working on a sequel.
I know. We're starting with. It is a totally different movie from the first one, though.
It's so fucking good, though.
All right.
It's great.
Good.
It's the greatest comedy ever made.
Well, you know what? It's kind of fitting because I saw 2 before I saw 1.
How'd you fucking figure out what was going on?
What you get?
I read between the lines.
You need to see them in order.
Yeah.
Mahoney and the fucking ATV.
Mahoney.
No, ATC.
ATC, right. Bird face.
Hungry Diane.
All right, so that's it. So for the next Patreon, if you guys want in on that and you're not already on the Patreon, we're going to do a commentary for Police Academy 2.
Money well spent.
So all 4 of us will be in the Lair of Lost Swag.
The litter box.
All 4 of us will be in the Lair of Lost Swag, and we'll pull it off.
Oh, yeah. Don't watch the movie, too.
We'll have to find out where that movie's available to stream somewhere.
I know, right?
I have it on
MC.
I have it on DVD.
There you go.
Okay, you may have to set up a DVD.
This is Raven Shadow. I'm sure he has a VHS player set up.
It's in the other room, no.
We'll have to get it with.
Chickens.
We have to get it in with the mic, so we'll figure it out. I may even be able to. I may be able to figure it out. So,
thank you, Johnny.
So, well, all right. Well, there you go. It's all settled. Police Academy 2. That's going to be an interesting one to hear. So, if you guys have not yet jumped on board, patreon.com/trickortreatradio, and the audio stuff is on the $5 a month tier. And you know what? What is that? A fucking 1 coffee a month? Just pick one day and don't get a coffee that day. That's your $5, right? How many coffees a day do you drink, Aries?
3, 4.
See? If you skip one of them, there's $5.
Well, I have a coffee maker in my office.
Oh, okay, fine.
I don't dick around. I don't know.
His name is Ted. Make the fucking coffee, asshole. Oh, fuck God.
So, all right, well, that's it. So we're going to start to wrap things up. We're going to do Police Academy 2 is going to be our film commentary that we're going to do on Patreon, so keep an eye out for that in the coming days and weeks. And then also, we're going to be recording some video stuff at Rock and Shock, and I hope to get that out as well, hopefully before the end of the month, but we'll get it out there soon. So, well, let's go around the room and say our goodbyes. MZ?
Arrivederci, douchebags.
All right, Aries.
Oh, I'm sorry. Goodbye.
Raven Chatham.
Live fast, love hard, die with the mask on.
All right, so that is it for episode 376 of Trick or Treat Radio. We appreciate everyone who sent in voice messages and everyone who hung out in the chat room. I know we're a couple days early, and I think some people got thrown off by that. Tim from Australia was like, "You guys are on tonight," so I think that might have screwed up with some people. But we had to do it a couple days early just so we could make sure everything runs smoothly, get the episode up on the podcast feed on Friday, and just so I can hit the road. So I'll be seeing you guys in the next couple days, depending on when I see you, I guess. But looking forward to this weekend, and I hope to see a lot of people that are listening. Hopefully you're listening to this episode en route to the DCU Center for Rock and Shock, so you can come hang out with us. Come stop by the booth. We got some swag to give away. We got some 8x10s. So come stop by the booth and let us know. We'll give you some shit. And also make sure to make arrangements to check out our live podcast Sunday at 2 p.m. right before Bruce Campbell, as we said, will be jerking the chin. So come stay for the show up for the ridiculousness and stay for the chin, and it'll probably be an awesome time. So come hang out with us, come say hello, and looking forward to it. Looking forward to seeing you guys. So
yeah, man.
Well, that is gonna do it for this episode. And we'll be back next week as we review Parasite. So if you get a chance to check it out, let us know what you think. See ya!